Hello, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/official Paizo. I am, I'm going to be your GM today, it seems.
You're not Squid.
I'm not sure where he got to, actually. I haven't seen him for a while. Under the coconut. There he is. The show must go on, you see.
I get to be a player.
He gets to play.
I get to be a nuisance.
He gets revenge.
Yeah, this is where payback happens.
I get like one opportunity every 6 months for vengeance.
I just wake up in the morning and I'm just in this chair. I'm actually duct taped to it. You can't see, but
he's a willing hostage.
He gets to play. So happy. But welcome to the Two Perceptions Show, twitch.tv/official Paizo, with our lovely sponsors, Norse Foundry, for all of our shiny, wonderful dice. We have Sirenscape providing all of our spectacular music and sound effects today, and Arken Forge, which maps and character art and all sorts of nifty transitions that we can do. And we even have a discount code that you can use that will pop down there at some point on the screen flipping by if you wanted to go ahead and get a nifty little discount on Arken Forge.
You know what made everything so much easier on the prep side? When we discovered you can also just put Sirenscape music in the sound set, so we don't have to manage a separate playlist. It's all Sirenscape now, baby.
Wonderful.
All of it.
Thank you, Sirenscape.
Thank you, Sirenscape.
May their name be praised. Alrighty, well, we are going to hop right in. We have concocted a delightful little one-shot called Too Many Leshies, or Leshie Daycare, or Leshie, we don't say the other word, although it's been in chat already, I see. But welcome around. So, as many of you may or may not know, what is a Leshie? Who here, class, who knows what a Leshie is?
Somebody stuffed a spirit, and instead of in a box, it's in a gourd.
That's not a bad description. Nature spirits, given form. Some druids thought it would be a great idea. I say, what if we had his nature spirits and we stuck it in that plant? And a Leshie was born. And if we have, little tiny spirits, they turn into druid familiars. And if we have maybe stronger spirits...
I have one of those.
You do have one of those. They wander off by themselves and get into all sorts of trouble. And so the druids who kind of animate those, they kind of like, oh God, they've kind of gone off and... They turn to him. They do that. They do that thing he's doing right now. Yeah, exactly. And you try to run and catch him, but he just runs away too fast. And so now they've corralled them all back up and put them into Leshie Daycare. We'll go around the table, introduce everybody's characters. We will start with Almira.
Hi, I'm Almira Glade Dweller, and I am here to make sure that my new friends don't get hurt. And they learn a lot from their experiences, and, mostly they don't get eaten. And that's why I have labeled them as my followers and not vegetables, because it's really easy to confuse them with vegetables, and I'm honestly kind of afraid they're going to get eaten.
What do you look like, Almira?
Oh, I'm an elf, you see, and I have nice pointy ears, and I have lovely green hair. No, I didn't dye it. It's naturally like that. It's all the algae, you see. And I enjoy being in the forest, and I have these lovely high eyebrows, and I'm kind of svelte and pretty, and look at my little mouth. Look at those ears. I'm so adorable.
There's a reason why all the other druids decided to let her look after the plant people. Moving on, we have Doc.
Matt! We got Matt for a one-shot!
They wrangled me. They wrangled me.
Many of you may not necessarily remember Matt, but from way back in the day, a veteran from our Age of Ashes campaign who saw us do spectacularly well, and then the minute he left, half of the party died. It was horrible.
TPK, 2 sessions after he left.
It was, yes, it did not end well.
Wonderful days.
Awesome.
But now that he's back, it's quite unlikely that all of you will die horribly. So
No, he's here. We're fine while he's here.
Exactly.
Right?
For the moment.
Who are you, Matt?
Well, I'm playing Doc. I'm a very firm believer in being able to make sure that you keep track of the rest of us so that we don't get hurt. But it's my job to make sure that when you're not looking, that I keep everybody healed up. And I'm actually pretty tall, but very thin, as and I also have green hair, just like Druid Bob. So, that obviously makes me like the first in line to be with her in charge. So I like to think of myself as like the de facto leader.
He's got little overalls.
They're the best overalls that I could find.
Oh, you're such a teacher's pet.
It's
But I do like you.
That's right.
What a fiesta.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it, dear. We're going to have such a good time.
Good. And now we get to the troublemaker.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Hello, Colby.
Bonk doesn't really talk. I'll describe him as me here at the table, but he doesn't speak much. He is quite a large Leshie. He is for a Leshie, he's a bit bigger than everyone else. He is kind of a large, almost like an oversized brown sort of hairy doll. Looks like a coconut, where a lot of the fibers and vines across the outside have manifested into some large, wiry eyebrows and a scraggly beard. He is kind of constantly got a little tongue hanging out of his mouth because he doesn't really have lips. He just sort of has like a mouth hole.
Or muscle control, apparently.
If he had muscle control, he could talk.
So he's just kind of constantly very innocent and perhaps some would say dumb look on his face. But he is, as he stands there with his little pudgy coconut body, where his feet touch the earth, they dig a little. They sprout almost like the roots of a stump around themselves. So he looks quite connected, attached to wherever it is he is standing. But he moves, not so much stepping, but almost gliding, shuffling those feet and those roots through the earth as he goes, often kicking up a little bit of a cloud behind him as he scoots around to go
Should I play marimba while
annoy somebody else.
It really annoys Humongous because he has tremor sense and you wake him up all the time.
Off he goes.
And off we go on to
Harold. I'm just happy to be here. This one, like you said, a bit of a troublemaker, but I get in trouble too sometimes. The seeds I leave sometimes explode. I don't mean to. But I'm a gourd. And don't know why you're wearing overalls. You're a plant.
It's very important.
We're plants. I'm a gourd.
okay, Harold, who sometimes makes things explode.
It's an accident. I'm sorry.
The druids desperately were trying to round you up out of the greater world here.
Just leave seeds somewhere to plant them, and then the place explodes.
And moving on, we have somebody special and new.
Hi, everybody. I'm David Lugo. It's a pleasure to meet you through the camera, which is kind of cool. And I am excited to be playing with you guys. Thank you so much. It's only my second Pathfinder game ever, so bear with me. But please, in the comments, tell me what I'm doing wrong because I want to be able to read that later. Yeah, please and thank you. And I am going to be playing Birchwood, and I am a magic user of sorts, and I have these bands that connect my arms and legs, and when I move about and run, I kind of look like Forrest Gump. Legs stretched out with no knee capable, and I bop from left to right as I attempt to move forward and backwards. And I am very excited to be joining my fellow Leshies in today's adventure.
Perpetually T-posing for dominance. He is terrifying to behold.
When Birchwood runs, it looks like he's about to poop himself.
But I haven't ever seen any seeds come out of him. He's just been kind of doing that.
Why did they stick you all with me?
Well, they apparently have so much faith in your capabilities to look after these Leshies that literally every other druid has formed up and left.
That makes so much sense now that I've met them.
And they have actually moved off, forming a delegation party to go and speak with the local human settlement to work out a very important peace treaty that they told you absolutely no details about. But they have left you alone back in the Druid encampment with these 4 delightful Leshies to look after as you attempt to teach them your ways.
Humongous, we sure have our work cut out for us.
Little mushroom just kind of looks around.
I know. It is sad.
Probably should mention you have a mushroom, actually.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm a leaf druid, you see, which means that I have a Leshie familiar, which is essentially, supposedly, a lesser one of these spirits. But I actually think that Humongous has far more common sense than the stick.
Curiously enough, it's the only one that listens to you all the time.
Humongous is very polite.
Humongous the fungus.
Bob.
What, dear?
He's going to make something that's going to set himself on fire.
I can't. Bonk. Bonk, no. Not again. No, Bonk.
Give it
And
up.
you see Bonk sitting here with a weird little mechanical contraption. Just like a metal handle with a small like winching lever on the side, topped with an elliptical glass orb with a couple of little wires and bits of metal on the inside. And he turns the crank and then lets it go. And as it slowly unwinds, the wires light up, bright as a torch. And he looks directly at it
Please stop. Please stop. No.
until he can't, and then does it again.
Please, no.
Entirely unclear where he got this from.
Oh, he found it.
Encroacha. Spout. Water
Kind of waters you.
He takes off. He goes. He is very fast. Not happy. Shoots off in the distance. Dust cloud up behind him.
The little spinning legs of the coconut Leshie completely outpacing the long-limbed nimble elf as he fires away through the undergrowth.
At least he's easy to follow.
You see like bushes and leaves and birds flying away.
And then I imagine you'd see a beacon of light occasionally just appearing out of the leaves wherever you went.
You're going to come back with your eyeballs smoking.
This is going to be so exhausting.
Alert!
Everybody down.
Alert!
What seems to be this flying creature?
A big, could be a crow, could be a raven, definitely corvid of some kind. I imagine that you could all argue for days trying to figure out which one it is. Swoops in to the encampment. Alert!
What seems to be wrong, strange bird thing?
You would actually recognize these. The druids actually use a lot of animal scouts and messengers to keep an eye on the surrounding forest. There's only so many to go around, but the forest is full of life willing to help the guardians of nature. And ravens are a favorite because they can actually kind of talk. They can kind of talk to people. And so you don't actually have to be able to, expend magic to understand what the heck this bird is saying. That being said, it's not the most articulate creature in the world. It's just kind of shouting at you in alarm. Sacred Grove! Alert! Sacred Grove!
Well, what about the Sacred Grove?
Druids!
But the druids already left. The Sacred Grove is in trouble?
Swoops up for you, kind of hops up, and just kind of looks up at you expectantly. Kind of clicks its beak.
Did someone fall down a well?
I think he wants a snack. Here you go. I'm just gonna reach inside because gourd leshies are hollow. Reach inside of himself and grab a seed. Here you go, little bird.
Don't eat that.
Sniff at it. Kind of look. Is it shiny?
It's a seed, like a snack.
I wouldn't.
Roll me a diplomacy.
You hear another
Don't.
just suddenly Bonk is right behind him. Like, right over his
All right, I
shoulder.
got you.
Shadow just kind of falls over, and the bird just kind of starts to sweat.
20.
Nice.
19 with a +1.
Flies up and away.
All right, I'm going to roll a d10, and we're going to see what happens to this poor bird. That is negative. It's a necrotic bomb.
So it goes up it carries it up into the trees, and then you just kind of hear like a, and the bird just falls out of the tree.
I got it, Bob. I got it. And just Doc will scoop up a small little bit of dirt, and in the dirt there'll be like a little what looks like a little seedling, and just run right over to the bird and just. I should probably see if this will even work. How do I check to see if it's alive?
Bonk shoots up next to you and takes the things out of your hand and dumps it on the bird. And starts kind of petting it. And I want to just make a medicine check.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry, little
Come on, Bob.
Just wanted to
just a little stumpy hand. Pet.
It's the roots.
As Bonk attempts to do CPR on a bird.
5 on the die, 14.
Well, you kind
kill
of
it.
plop this bird and you go pat, 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 and that bird just does not react at all.
That's not. Let me do it.
Did you kill the messenger?
I've got it, Bob. Let me do it.
You're not supposed to kill the messenger.
I gave the messenger a snack.
But you didn't know what it was. You've got to stop doing that.
It's a seed. It is. Reach inside and grab it. It's a seed.
But dear, those are alchemical seeds. Don't eat it again, Bonk. Not again.
I put it into the dirt on the bird.
I'm gonna scoop that out real fast and launch it away.
Make a reflex save.
Oh, great.
Hope you didn't have a plot today, Nick.
It's not important.
So that is a 6 on the die, so a total of 12.
Okay, as you go to reach down to it, what is it?
Alchemist fire.
It is Alchemist Fire. You reach down and it just whoosh and flares out. You'll take a point of splash damage from the fire. The bird is, well, it was already soot black, but it's not moving at all.
As that fire ignites, you see Birchwood kind of back up really fast. He does not like fire.
Oh.
You get the feeling you'll probably be blamed for this.
Bonk, what did you do?
Oh.
That's exactly what you did. That's what you did wrong. It's not how you do it.
Patting some dirt on this little bit of burn.
Dig a hole.
Start digging a hole with your hands,
We
kind
gave
of
it a
crying a little
proper
bit.
Funeral and everything.
You're the one who did it.
I didn't do anything.
You did
Kill
it.
him.
Fed it.
He was such a nice bird. All he wanted to do was tell us secrets.
He did tell the secrets, and then he got a treat. It was just a really bad one.
I'm just gonna over the dirt.
Surely no one will ever know.
The scorched earth.
Birchwood, did you hear what the thing was squawking about?
I did indeed hear what the bird was squawking about. He said something about the sacred grove. And I remember, or not I, but my family of trees remember sacred grove. And I walk over to the nearest tree, and I place my wood arm against the bark, and you see like a transfer happen, an extension of my arm, as I cast ancestral memories to find out information about the sacred grove.
Ah, very good, very good. What is your I guess this would be lore
Lore of
sacred
the Sacred
groves.
Grove.
I like it. What are you, a plus?
He
A plus
rolls.
5.
GM rolls it because if you
understood.
critically fail,
I get to
you
lie to
learn
you.
wrong things.
Love that. I'm at a plus 5.
You're at a plus 5. All right. So as your nature spirit kind of flows into the trees, flows into the forest, the sort of collective wisdom of the forest kind of flows into you, and you kind of see almost like your view kind of expands up into the sky, kind of much like this bird, which will never do this again. And
we make a 5 minutes.
you go
killed
5
an
minutes and
animal
you kill
messenger.
one of the druid's messengers. Oh my god.
I hate all of you.
The bird was just doing his job. You fly, your vision flies up into the sky, and you can see the expanse of the forest beneath you. But beyond that, what you can see, kind of overlaid into the forest, is the web of ley lines carrying magic and, moreover, the consciousness of the natural world spreading out. And where they conflux, where the ley lines overlap each other, forming these nodes of power. These are the sacred groves of the Druids, and they are... There's many of them, but they are far apart. The ley lines do not cross over and like everywhere. But judging from where the bird flew in from, you think you've pinpointed this particular sacred grove, at least the nearest one it could have come from, probably about a day and a half journey to the northwest.
It appears that our journey is in this direction, about a day and a half. I believe that we should move as quickly as our madam would allow us. And do not fret about our lost bird brethren, because once they are incorporated into the soil, that is food for all of our future family members. So thank you, bird, for your sacrifice.
It's the circle of life.
You killed him so he would be fertilizer?
I gave him a snack.
All right. Well, that was a very sad start to the day, but I suppose needs must. Let's try and go. If the Sacred Grove is in trouble, well, we have to rescue it, right? Right? Yeah.
It sounds important, so we should probably go.
What's the Sacred Grove?
Would there be any myths or legends about the Sacred Grove?
Yeah, maybe. What's your modifier for lore, myths, and legends?
+7.
+7. All right. Let's see about any kind of stories you can think up here. One thing actually does occur to you. So some of these groves are just areas of power where the druids can draw particularly good magic or perhaps cast particularly powerful rituals, but some of them are different. And you think you heard a story once that this particular grove actually seals away a tear in the fabric between this world and the world of the Fae. You recall that there was something about this like centuries ago, that there was actually a hero that actually entered into the Fae to kind of try to keep things under control, but they wound up actually having to seal the breach behind him, and the druid is actually memorialized at that site. You think that this might be that particular grove.
Well, I think that there might be oh God, I really hope the Fae aren't involved. But we should be prepared. There's a legend, a story that I heard that says that this particular grove is a gateway into the Fae, and it was sealed off to keep the Fae out. But if there's something wrong with the sacred grove, perhaps that gate is opened, in which case we should prepare for something very odd indeed.
Bonk's head's big enough to close it.
What's your perception DC? Just out of raw curiosity.
Me?
Yours.
I was gonna say.
What is it here? Let me take a look here.
What's your perception modifier?
+9. So
So you would Bonk is not next to you anymore, but you would see that he has just withdrawn to like the line of the woods nearby and dug a small little hole and is like just sitting. His little doll body buried, not super hidden, but kind of obscured, a little away from the group.
Bonk, no, Bonk, get out of the hole. We have to go someplace. Bob says we're going somewhere.
Doc, I'm going to, since you are by far the best pupil, I'm going to put you in charge of making sure that he doesn't do anything if I'm not watching him. And I'll be watching him 98% of the time, but the other 2%'s what I'm very worried about.
That's a big number. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Bonk, out of the hole. Bonk. That's right, because Bob said so.
We get to go on an adventure.
That's right. Now, everyone, we're going to get into a line. And let's see. Do you want to take the lead or shall I?
I was gonna lead seeds everywhere to make sure we know where we're going.
That's a bad idea. I'm going to take the lead. You all stay behind me.
Put a
And-
seed down, everyone walks over and explodes.
Landmines.
Well, I do think that I might be of some benefit to leading the group, as I can light the way using some abilities that I have.
You will stay. You can.
No, he's not.
We should let Bonk take the lead. He's the fastest and he has the light stick.
Light's not going to be a problem.
What time of day is it? Is it just like noon?
Yeah, probably. I
Day
mean,
and a half travel.
you're in the forest, so the light is noticeable when you turn it on. It's not like it gets completely washed out by the sun, but it's like noon. Yeah.
It can get very dark in the woods sometimes, and I get scared. So
Oh.
Bonk being there would be very nice.
We're going to have everyone there. Now, everyone line up. Come on, behind me. And Humongous, you can just stay in the basket.
Mushroom kind of sinks down a little bit. Then it comes up and just kind of stares at Harold for a bit. And just goes back down to the basket and pops up and stares at him again. And he's going to be doing that the entire time.
That's right. Keep an eye. Make sure he doesn't throw any seeds in the basket.
Murph.
All right,
Not
let's
all
go.
my seeds are bad. Some don't do anything at all.
But we don't know which it's going to be, dear, and that's part of the problem. You want to eat him? No, don't eat the seeds, Bonk.
They're
No.
very good for you.
They weren't very good for the bird.
Harold can't even say it with a straight face after so many years.
Harold can. Derp can.
Maybe this one won't kill my friend.
You have a 1 in 10 chance of not dying.
Yay!
Technically, it's 2 in 10 because Tanglefoot Bag's on there too.
That's so much.
It's okay. It's okay.
You can eat an entire root.
Because Harold is very dumb, which means there's no mens rea, so you can't accuse him of murder, and so it's okay.
It's not malicious.
What's your intelligence?
16.
That's literally double mine.
I am an alchemist.
So Harold is
I
a psychopath.
I am an alchemist. I have no
knows what
choice
he's
but to
doing.
have some intelligence.
I see. But you did though.
Not if I wanted to use my class at all.
Mine is 8.
All right,
Also
everyone.
an 8.
Everything's going to be fine. Let's all line up, and I am going to lead the way, and I'm going to make sure that we go along the safest paths, and that we keep going in the right direction. And luckily, I'm very good at it because
Well,
I was trained by the Rangers.
The safest path and the safest direction and the closest direction and the right direction, all of that sounds very survival-y to me. Would anyone like to assist your survivability?
Please don't.
No.
I
Mom's
would-
not interested in none of this nonsense.
I would like to take the lead in this matter, actually.
No, dear. It's not going to happen.
But Bob, I can help.
Can I survival separately?
Sure.
I
Okay.
do believe that my connection to the root system and the trees that mark our path, I may be of some benefit.
I mean, he did find it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you keep a lookout for that, and I'll make sure we don't get eaten.
Excellent.
So that sounds very kind of assistiness. Since your lore of Druid Sacred Groves is still up, I'll let you assist her survival with a lore Druid Sacred Groves, because it doesn't typically work that way, but I think it kind of works this way.
Oh, thank you.
Bonk, we're gonna go in the bushes.
No, you're not. Bob said stay in the line.
We'll be in eyesight.
And you want to roll ahead? Go ahead and roll
Yeah.
your... For assisting, you do get to roll, even if technically it's knowledge, but yeah, just go ahead and roll it.
That is a 5, and I would give a +5 or
10?
not. A 10 total.
Okay, so
You don't make it worse.
you
Yeah, you do.
you totally do.
20.
Okay. You do make it worse.
This is why I just wanted to do it by myself.
So Birchwood is basically trying to give you directions, and except Birchwood is following paths of power that only he can see, which tend to wind through trees and rocks and other solid objects and obstacles, and sometimes just leap right over a ravine, which doesn't work well for people who have to, traverse the physical world. So you'll be at -1 for this.
May I roll to assist to try and maybe?
Yeah, go for it. This is great.
All right, survival. 16 plus 9 is 25.
He will offset that -1.
Angel.
I'll be supplementing it with no direction, so at least I know where true north is.
Fair enough.
No direction is absolutely what we have.
It's like the worst boy band.
That's pretty good. That's a 15 on the die, plus my survival, which is +9. I get a +1 because we're in the wood. So that's +10. So that's 25.
Nice.
25.
25. All right, very good. Well,
And if it's a success, it's a critical success because of my woodcraft.
all right, well, critical success then. Some of these sacred groves are hidden away to make it difficult for people to stumble across them, but that does not matter because we have a druid who is one of the people who sealed it away. And so adept woodcraft, even with the sometimes dubious help of your pupils and tagalongs, you are able to hit the right path. And actually, after journeying through the woods, about a day and a half will go by fairly uneventfully.
I get more bombs.
You get more bombs.
Do I get a short rest during that day?
You get a long rest. You get an everything rest.
You get all of the rests.
You prep casters can go ahead. Now that you know you're getting into trouble, you could certainly go ahead and tweak your lists if you want. Or are you always expecting trouble? After all, you do have Bonk and you have Herald around. So,
are there any known dangers in this sacred grove that we might want to worry about? Besides my compatriot here.
Well, I've never been there before,
Well-
so you don't have to worry about any seeds.
The Fae are possibly there if they've escaped, and that's the problem. You're all looking a little bit dry. Let's
I don't feel dry.
caustic monstla.
Now I'm really not dry.
and is that spout? Okay, and so water spout one at a time will kind of blast up from the ground, soaking you, presumably applying some sort of nourishment to your plant-like bodies.
You'll just hear me sloshing because now part of my insides are full of water.
I love it. As this is cast, where my
look very
my
moist.
regular wooden structure is very barky, as the water starts to soak in to my wooden flesh, you start to see mold and moss start to grow as I cast mage armor.
Greatest mage armor ever. I love it.
This
Get mossy.
spout hits the growths, these little wiry bits of fibers, and these bushy eyebrows above Bonk's head just kind of sag down with the weight of water and drag over his eyes. And you see him just spinning around the party as you travel. Sort of becomes erratic in directions. He starts to stumble into things.
Stop! Bonk! 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 Oh,
He's living up to his
No,
name.
it's fine. As I telekinetic projectile from the ground and roots kind of pop up on the side as he's getting ready to go off terrain, plop him back in the other direction. and then
Bumpers. I love
back
it.
in the other direction.
Bumper cars.
Ting, ptung, ting, ptung. 2,000 points. I love it.
Playing Space Cadet pinball over here.
He's got it.
I'm not going to be a part of this, and I'm going to cast and basically raising a shield for myself so that if he bumps into me, he just bounces.
Now you're another bumper.
So this is an excellent time to talk about exploration activities because we are definitely in exploration mode as we approach the Sacred Grove. Those of you who are new to the system, exploration mode is basically where you pick one thing that your character is going to be focusing on. It could be keeping an eye out looking for clues. It could be keeping an eye out looking for enemies. You could also be trying to think about something to recall knowledge on what you see. You might be able to be casting a spell over and over again. Usually only good if it's a cantrip because otherwise you run out of spell slots really quickly. Or a few other things. think
You can
search,
keep your shield
hustle.
up.
I think hustling sounds like what Bonk is doing, but maybe he'll change his mind as the water dries up.
Bonk's scooting around the outside of the party here, a bit of a bigger radius.
You can
He
also
is,
scout.
Definitely looking for something. Not necessarily enemies, but just things that are interesting that he wants to touch.
Sounds like a
He's definitely scouting.
Scouting. All right. So, and what are we going here?
I am definitely seeking because I am leading the party.
Okay. And
I'll be casting shield over
casting
and over
shield
again
over and
to
over
protect
again.
Myself.
Very, very cautious. So you were scouting. Okay, very good. And
Recalling knowledge. There's a lot of really interesting things over here.
yes, indeed, indeed. And what would Birchwood be doing? And I could go roll through your options again if you like.
I believe I would be just very cautious about approaching fey creatures now that that is on my radar.
One of your options is avoid notice if you want to be using your stealth score.
Instead of perception for initiative. Gives you the choice. You can still use
I don't know if your
The
stealth
rest
is
of
any
us are
good.
doing the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So yes, that sounds great. I will stay hidden.
So you kind of tip over to a tree and then just.
Yep. Just lay down, look like a twig.
I love it.
The branch.
I
Perfect.
pick him up and start using him as a walking stick.
Wonderful.
All right, and so prepared, you come over a hillock and you can see a gap in the trees ahead. And what is there is definitely a grove. It's definitely a clearing in said grove, and but there it starts to look very different. While typically you'd have things like green grass, brownish earth, green leaves, brown bark, blue sky. There is a riot of different colors, vibrant vermilion, pinks, oranges, a blue that is so bright it almost hurts. And these are these colors are spilled out over the landscape, over the trees, almost like someone took paint and just sloshed it out. But coming a little bit closer, you can kind of see these vibrant colors almost shifting, flowing, almost moving towards some tide that you can't really feel or see, but you can see the effects on the colors. There is a riot of weird stuff going on here. That's just, everything is very odd. The air, you can almost kind of smell this sort of, almost like an electricity kind of in the air. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and things are very, very weird.
Did somebody take my bombs, my seeds, and put them here? What
Some-
happened?
Somebody should hold on to Bonk. He's going to get very distracted
Bonk
by all
is-
the colors.
He's out ahead. He's already go. You go straight into
stop.
this, and it's like. So this is just to clarify. This is like the trees and the rocks themselves. These colors are just sort of swirling across them. He would immediately shoot up to the nearest decently sized trunk and just be watching the colors. It's like a cat with a laser pointer just touching it.
I'll go
Beautiful.
get Bonk.
Those of you who are seeking, you can go ahead and give me a perception check to see what you can see.
All right.
And any of you recalling knowledge, that kind of probably be appropriate here. You can use nature, or if you have something more specific, you could go ahead and use that. I'm not sure what you've got lore-wise, but rattle it off to me if you think it's appropriate.
Nature 7.
Nature 7, okay. What do we got for seeking?
It's going to be a 20.
A 20? Okay. So the first thing, so with this, I'll come to your knowledge first.
Dubious knowledge as well.
Okay, beautiful. And so you're thinking about this, and you kind of see these colors kind of spraying out over the air. This is clearly a sign of sort of a sort of chaotic branching kind of flowing into the material world from the first world, the land of the Fae. And looking at these colors kind of ebb and flow around, you can actually tell that there's different almost flavors to the magic based off of what color it is. And you can't quite remember exactly which color does what flavor, but you seem to remember that there was a way you could tease it out. Maybe if you think about it a bit more, you might be able to figure it out.
Oh, good news, everybody. The Fays are here, and they brought flavors in the colors if you lick them.
Do that.
Immediately would lick the tree.
As you look around the grove, you kind of look past all the colors and you see at the far end of the grove is actually this beautiful oak tree, which is spread out, its canopy almost covering the entire clearing. And there's actually a rope that's tied around the trunk with charms and sort of woven crafts that the druids have built into it, and likely carrying the enchantment. And there's actually a small stone disc, which you can't quite read, but you can see that there's writing carved into it from across the clearing. The thing about this, though, that draws your attention the most is there's actually a giant crack that's running about halfway up the tree that moves up into the canopy, and that's very concerning to you.
Revelare. Read aura.
That's a 10-minute cast, so you'll be at it for a while.
Yep.
Okay.
Birchwood, is this like a cousin of yours?
Yes, it is indeed. But these colors are not what I am used to seeing.
Those are the fairy colors.
But I see that.
Oh, cast a minute. I'm sorry. And there doesn't seem to be any like creatures wandering the area. There's no like,
It's just the Feywild's like leaking in.
Yeah, it's basically what this is.
What does the tree taste like?
What does a tree taste like?
What
All right.
color did you lick?
Lime
I
green.
got you. All right, you picked a sort of a lime. Yeah, actually, that is a lime green.
I know things.
I just put numbers on the rainbow and I rolled it.
Nice.
Yeah, you picked a lime green color, and you kind of like lick up this tree, and it almost tastes like if someone were to drop hot sauce in dirt and stir it up. That's what it tastes like.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna lick that.
Wait,
It's not-
which
no.
one?
Oh.
Oh no.
What's up, Doc?
Tastes like my
They're
seeds.
licking
Pretty
they're
good.
licking the tree. I think
No,
Bonk says it's a
we're
spicy
not,
tree.
We're not licking the tree.
what
We're
Bonk?
licking the green.
It's still part of the tree.
I mean, he's not dead yet, so if he's having fun licking the tree, I'm not going to stop him.
I'm gonna grab some bark off the tree, which I would assume loses the color when it's not attached to the tree.
You
Actually,
assume such things.
It'd be funny to just bring her a piece of bark, like lick this.
so you actually pry this bark off of the tree, and the color does drain. It falls off the bark, almost like water sliding off something onto your arm. And you have this patch of sort of lemony lime brilliance just kind of flow onto your arm, and that is what your arm is colored now.
Now I taste good.
And despite the fact that Harold seems a little out of it and
You're
not
all
really paying
monsters.
much attention,
I guess recall knowledge arcana.
Huh?
Recall knowledge arcana, because that's magic.
No, you can use nature in this case.
It's still a +7.
So the thinking about it here and looking at it, what you're tasting, this spice in the air that you're tasting, isn't really a flavor. It's actually just ambient chaotic magic. This thing is just literally firing off your senses kind of randomly, and that's
the
the
madness.
There's a
effect.
flower that does that.
There's
What?
probably many flowers that do that, and then you
there's
die.
a small white flower that when you chew it, it's poisonous and it's trying to kill you, but it can't because it's really weak poison.
So it's like black ants.
it fires off all of your taste buds completely randomly. And it'll make your mouth go numb too.
Is this a humans or space orc story?
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
People will eat these flowers for the novelty of it.
Well, apparently we'll also cannibalize trees.
I mean, we'll also like drink poison because yeah, okay, so fair enough, yeah.
Is any of it in the air? Is it breathable, or is it just if you eat it?
Well, like, are you going to try to breathe some of it?
Well, we're walking into it, so it's going to be very difficult not to.
Well, around this time, you'll finish casting your read aura, and you are going to, you're going to be, your senses are going to be a little bit flooded. What objects are you focusing on? You can actually pick
Mostly the
objects.
tree.
The tree mostly. So you get a very powerful abjuration effect on it. But as you're studying the tree, you actually can notice the strength of the abjuration noticeably waning, literally as you watch it.
Huh. That's odd. Do I think it's because I'm watching it?
And with that, an ear-splitting crack will echo throughout the glade as the tree, the split in it, violently pulls apart, straining the seal rope around it until it finally splits. And with a loud ping, and this riotous color will wash away from you out of the tree and almost like a wave wash over all of you, kind of almost knocking you all over. And that spicy sensation kind of overwhelms your senses. You're all kind of dazzled looking around. Not the actual condition, you have to pull it out. But it almost like overwhelms you. And when you all kind of come back to your senses, you kind of see that it's no longer daytime. The night sky is out and there are stars in it.
Oh, no, it's dark.
That you don't particularly recognize.
Oh no.
Why is it dark? What happened?
I think we're in Fae now.
That's fine. Light. We're fine.
I'll wind up the little torch. It looks like a regular torch, so cast out light like a torch.
Sounds good to me.
Illuminatus.
Light comes out from a little box. It'll cast a light spell on yourself, presumably, and it starts providing some light to see by. My seeker,
Just me.
Go ahead and roll me your perception.
Oh dear. Oh, it's just me and Humongous.
Bob, we're here too.
Yeah, the little mushroom guy has not come out of your basket. He's having none of this.
Oh, that's very nice. That's going to be a 28.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Okay.
That's wisdom.
28.
Have we mentioned that this is a third level one shot?
It is a third level one
No, we're
shot,
not
by the
first
way.
level.
Everyone is third level.
The first couple of rolls may have made it seem like it was first level. But we are third level.
You get your, So Almira gets her feet under her quickly, kind of scans the environment around. You're in a clearing still, roughly the same size as the clearing of the Sacred Grove, actually. You can see on the other side of the clearing is that same tree that has been split in half. The seal rope is still there on the ground with a disc on it, and presumably the hero's name that was carved onto it. Looking around as well, you can see that you're not in Kansas anymore. The trees in this area have this sort of, there's a different set of scale in the first world. Things aren't really, that the natural laws of the world are kind of more suggestions in the first world than actually hard laws of physics. And the trees here have grown incredibly high. Like they tower into the sky.
Wow.
You can almost, it's like you're looking at a cloud if you're looking at the tops of these trees. And the undergrowth, it's almost like separate strata of the world as you go down. And you were here on the ground level of this massive primeval Fey forest. The clearing also does have another occupant which catches your eye as the glint of your light breaks into iridescent patterns off of what appears to be the fallen form of, looks to be a humanoid clad in some sort of iridescent armor. The next thing you notice is that sort of leaning against a tree, kind of right by that fallen humanoid of some sort, is what is most certainly a Fae. If you were to kind of think a little bit differently, he looks like a gnome, roughly in stature, very exaggerated hooked nose, these giant ears, chin with a big flowing beard coming off of it, entirely dressed up in a Harlequin's outfit with sort of like the half black and red sort of bells dinging on the end of a jester's cap that he kind of has perched up on his head. Nothing in his hands or anything like that, but he's just kind of looking there and kind of looking at all of you, kind of looking around, but you spot him almost right away.
I'll try Sylvan first. Greetings, First Worlder. We don't mean any harm.
Of course you don't. No, terrible accident that. All of you just, goodness gracious, just falling through that tear in the sky. Goodness gracious, you just fell in a pile. Well, welcome.
Do we all see that the figure that's like on the ground?
Oh, he's pretty obvious, yeah.
Bonk would immediately just over there and look at him. Does he look hurt? Or is he just...
It's the figure's face down. The armor is super shiny, but it covers like plate. So you kind of shake the figure, and it doesn't really move. The jester kind of fades. So it's not going to do very much, little one. As you kind of push and roll it over, it turns out is a body. Rolls over, and the face is almost mummified, like completely desiccated. It is a corpse, but not like a bloated corpse or a rotting corpse. It looks like it is dehydrated, desiccated corpse. The cause of death is, as you roll them over, is quite apparent because there are these two obsidian darts that appear to have pierced through the chest plate at some point. But judging from the state of the corpse, apparently was a long time ago. You recall knowledger type person can go ahead and give me a.
Dirt.
Actually, you know what? Nature still works. Go ahead and what? It's your +7. You said?
Yeah, +7.
Dart holes.
Man, okay.
Bob, water him.
So you know something. A few things stick out weird. First off, this body looks like it has been here literally for decades. The other thing is you're in a verdant forest. Bodies do not desiccate in verdant forests. Bodies rot and decompose in verdant forests.
Bodies get fed to the little buddy of yours.
That's right.
And moreover, it doesn't really make sense that why this body hasn't rotted. It's like the forest just did not touch this body. And the other thing that you would know is that you remember Fae. When a Fae dies, its body is sort of subsumes back into the energy of the first world before recoalescing and being reborn. This body didn't do that. So, in your mind,
That's a people.
this is a people. This isn't a Fae.
So I will look at the Fae and it's not one of your friends, is it?
Aha! No! Good old Sir Altman. Yes. No, he was a knight for quite some time, but met an untimely end in the freehold of the peaceful expanse. And he gives kind of a sarcastic shrug to his shoulders.
You mean the legend is real?
The legend?
That he sealed the gateway and gave his life to do so.
Ha! Why, of course. And he goes and nudges the seal disc with his foot. And you can see in Sylvan, actually, Altman is carved into it. And then he goes over to the knight's body and kind of pushes his shoulder back a bit and shows a crest actually on, it's kind of emblazoned on his chest piece, which says Sir Altman, honored of the court of eternal fountains.
Why did this happen? Why did the seal break?
Oh, totally an accident, I assure you. But, since you're here and all, well, maybe you'd like to put things right, eh? Wouldn't you like to go home? You can't do that, huh? Well,
Like patting the dirt. I'm sure the battle medicine doesn't matter, but he's doing his best patting dirt on these little holes. If the obsidian darts could be removed, Bonk would have pulled them out and just kind of put them on the ground next
give me an
to him.
athletics check.
9.
9. They have no telling when these darts went in, but they
dirt
are
would
not
be
coming out
petted
now.
around where the darts have broken through the chest plate is he's not like removing the armor or anything, we're just trying to kind of like peck it through around.
Yes, Bonk's efforts appear to be entirely ineffective, I'm afraid.
A dead body, but he's trying.
He's trying.
I wouldn't really want to go home.
Okay, Bonk, it's not gonna
It's a forest. This is a forest too, right?
What do you mean, don't you want to go home? This is fairy. Don't you know where you are?
I'm in the forest.
Meh.
But,
I'm a plant.
but No, you have to go home. You have to come here. I brought you here so you could help me out, so then you could go home. That's how that's supposed to work.
I would like to go home, and I assure you that my friends here are more able than I think they are.
Oh, thank goodness. Someone who's
hope.
reasonable.
And
We just do what she says sometimes.
Oh, good. Well, do what she says now, and go ahead and fix the dang freehold.
all right.
What's a freehold?
It's a part of Fae, dear.
The freehold of the peaceful expanse. Welcome to it. I'm the fool of the peaceful expanse.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, fool.
great to meet all of you. Right. The only problem is, it hasn't been very peaceful here. It hasn't been very peaceful here for some time, and I've grown quite sick of it.
Harold, did you just throw something?
This is my first time being here. I didn't do this one.
And Bonk would just be holding up just what looks like a wad of dirt toward this fool.
It helps.
He's honest.
Oh, well, isn't that lovely?
You can literally see where he scooped out of the ground right there. It's not like he kept this on him as his sacred grove dirt. He just picked it up.
He's not gonna take it. He's just he kind of looks at it. He just looks so exasperated. The frustration, you can see it slowly his features start to flush.
I mean, as he doesn't reach for it, Bonk is going to bend down and just sort of pats it on one of his shoes.
You're not sure exactly what this weird jester suit is made out of, but he's got a dirty foot now. And that's kind of what it is.
Oh.
So what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. The courts, the two courts went to war, and they're trying to fight over the control of the freehold, except no one can win.
The Fae courts?
No one can win. Yes, of course, the Fae courts. What other courts would I be talking about?
I'm just trying to clarify. I want to make sure I understand the situation. Don't yell at me.
And from her hand, clutching this walking staff, you see an eye pop open. And I kind of look up. Do you think this gentleman can be trusted? Which side of the court do you find yourself on?
I'm not on any side of the courts. I'm part of the freehold. But there is no freehold court anymore. There's just the Court of Eternal Fountains or the Court of Encroaching Screams. Those are the only courts that exist now, and I'm not a part of any of them. I'm going quite crazy because I'm the only one who's supposed to be here.
So this is your home, and it's like there are two weeds coming into your home.
Yes.
You think that there's 5 weeds here?
No, we're not weeds. He's the fool is saying that weeds are coming to his home, so we gotta stop the weeds.
You don't have to stop them both. I just want the combat to be over. I want the war to be over, and I just need one court. Because if there's one court, you can just need one fool.
Which side would be most beneficial?
I don't care.
Ah, that's good.
Any
That's good.
of them will be fine. Who would you like to see? I'll take you there myself.
Oh, just pick one. It doesn't really matter. I think the haunting screams people sound really unfriendly. Let's go to the other one.
Well,
Eternal Screams and the other one was?
Encroaching Screams and Eternal Fountains.
Let's go to the Eternal Fountains. They sound
isn't
lovely.
Eternal Fountains the same as where the crest is from on the dead man?
Oh, yes, Sir Altman. He was a knight of them for a while until Lady Roxana came with her brood. He would have won it for them too, except, well, he just got unlucky. It happens sometimes in war, you see.
Rocks do that.
If the Eternal Wellspring Fountain guys are the ones who sealed this, maybe we should help them.
I agree.
Lovely. Let's go. Oh, goodness gracious. You don't have no idea. You came out and then there were four plant things.
Did you
Goodness
not
gracious.
send for us? There was a messenger bird that came and retrieved us to come here. Was this not your message?
Well, I don't know anything about any kind of birds.
So you just found yourself in this exact spot that we spawned and transferred from gate to gate?
Gets like a little bit of a look. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
It's an 8 on the die. And perception is one of the major
Center
abilities.
right. Yeah, right above skills.
And that would be is it a 5 in the plus 7? So a 15.
15. He's getting. You can see kind of like he starts to kind of dart left and right, kind of like you may have like caught him in something. And then he'll just kind of like think for a minute and says, "Well, you need to get home, so I suppose it doesn't matter at this point. Well, that tree over there, that was what was sealing the breach, right?
Right.
And I needed some help to tip this war in one direction or another. One or another. Doesn't matter which one. And I just needed some extra help to do that. And Sir Altman, he was a mortal back in the day, and apparently still was after he took a few darts to the chest. But he was helping. So I figure if I just get more mortals, maybe you can tip the balance more. We just need more of them. And so I just kind of started cutting that tree in half. And I figured I would just wait to see if anyone showed up.
Open the secret tree? You couldn't have just like sent out like an SOS, like, you know, smoke signals?
Doesn't the smoke would go into the sky? You wouldn't see it. How do you get mortals with smoke signals? Is that how it works over there in the materials?
Well, sometimes.
Quite often, actually.
What a strange place it is in the materials. I'm glad I don't live there. But no, it doesn't work. You don't have mortals just... The seal was in the way. I couldn't contact you unless I started cutting it down.
That's horrible, but okay.
Well, the tree is cut. We can't exactly fix it now.
Maybe we can fix it.
You can fix it. Certainly you can fix it. Afterwards, though. I'll help you afterwards. Or honestly, whichever lord or lady winds up ruling this place will be more than happy to help you anyway. Lord Eladran. Lord Eladran Everdawn. That's his name.
Well, take us to the fountains.
Yes, this way.
Light up first.
Mine
It's
is
very
still up.
dark. I will not be leaving Root.
Flashlight cracking, cranking, sorry.
Humongous will actually jump out of the basket beside me, and he'll kind of start walking beside me. And you kind of see him look around like pensively constantly, and kind of every once in a while you'll see him kind of implant himself on the ground, kind of shake a little, go like this, and then jump back up again if he doesn't feel anything.
He's checking with his mushroom tremor sense that mushrooms are famed for having to
That's
see
why
if
it's so
there's-
hard to find mushrooms. They
Yep.
hear you coming.
That's right.
They do.
I'm just going to go back down the ground. That's how mushrooms work, folks. And so apparently you don't see anything alarming. And the fool kind of leads you through the woods, kind of tramping away. And you'll come across a sort of a white sand path that's just been laid down into the woods. Once he steps foot on the path, the fool seems to kind of sigh a little bit. Okay, good, we're on the path. This should be fine. Certainly none of the Lord's minions will attack us while we're on the path. The lady, well, she's not one for rules, really. But this way, and leads you down this path. This white sand path sort of just winds through the woods. And again, these trees tower over you. It seems like miles high. They go up into the sky with foliage kind of almost forming its own sky. And as you go, what's the range of
30 feet.
it's not humongous, it's
Humongous.
humongous fungus. That's right. I got to give them a minute. 30 feet. Okay, so you'll actually see this before you before it's picked up on tremor sense, and it nothing jumps you any close by, but you can kind of see in the distance sort of the sort of ambient fey light kind of reflecting off of these sort of pale white and iridescent figures, which seem to be stalking through the trees. And each of them seems quite tall, like easily towering over Almira, maybe 6-7 feet high, and clad in armor, bearing very large weapons. And they seem to all have a mask kind of obscuring their face as they stalk through the woods. But being on the path, none of them even seem to look at you. But they're fanning out, and even in the distance, you actually might see one sort of something seems to flit towards it, and you see these dark shadows kind of swarm around it, and it seems to engage. It's pulling a sword. It's fighting, and But none of the other figures seem to react to that. They're quite spaced out. And so each of them is just kind of moving through. If anyone feel like running off the safe path to go get a closer look?
No.
Bonk?
No.
Well, Bonk would be on the edge of the path this whole time, because as you move into the sand, he has these rooted feet that he shovels the move with, and you hit the sand and it just stops, and it can't get as much push. And he's just... So he'd be pushing himself on the very edge of the road anyway.
Okay.
Using the earth next to the sand to push himself along.
Well, Bonk would actually notice as he's kind of doing this. I kind of imagine almost like you have one foot on a skateboard and the other one is kind of
That's
pushing.
basically what he's doing.
You are kind of making a touch off the edge of the path, and one of these figures actually, as you kind of move past, will just turn its head and just stare at you as you move by, but doesn't actually. It doesn't acknowledge you. It just stares at you as you move, and it has this massive sword in its hands, but it doesn't really make a move to come at you. But it just kind of keeps an eye on you as you move by.
Bonk, unless you want to be a drink, I would very highly suggest that you get away from there.
Eh.
Yes, I know. Fool, what are they?
Those? The knights of the knights of the court of eternal fountains. They patrol this area. These are the battle lines we're moving through. Thankfully, Roxana's mob can actually know when to keep their mouth quiet. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to, while they're trying to attack, or we wouldn't hear anything aside from their caterwauling.
All right, Bonk. You can stick your feet in the sand a little bit, but you have to stay on the path, okay?
Plus, you've got the little light. We have to see with that.
Eh.
Good.
Yeah, keep one foot on the skateboard. On the side of the road.
The path again will carry you around, and the battle lines will sort of fade behind you. It's kind of weird. It's a very quiet type of engagement here. And one thing actually comes interesting. Bonk, as you're kind of moving along the lines here, you're kind of trying to keep up. This path really doesn't quite agree with you. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
19.
19. You are kind of frustrated, and you don't like this path too much. You can't walk on it very well. And, it'd be really nice if there was, you had dirt. If this was a dirt path, it would be great. And as you put your right foot down onto the sandy path, a little patch of dirt kind of pops up underneath your foot. And you have roots. And you kind of push off of it and skate, and the little pack of dirt kind of goes with you. And you're able to kind of just slide like you normally would. And it just kind of works.
Eh.
Bonk, that was very clever.
And Bonk will bend over and just kind of sift through some of the sand with his stubby little hands here.
Yep.
Would you be able to dig to this? Is this something he could reveal? I mean, it's not like my feet go super deep in the earth. I'm not burrowing or anything.
So
Can I uncover it?
you start digging down through the sand of this road, and it's white sand, and then it gets down to white gravel, and then it gets down to packed white sand and gravel. And at that point, you have a hard time digging through it. You do not hit soil at all.
Bonk, I think I didn't you just create it from magic?
Bonk, we need the light. No, you carry the light. Bonk, we need you to carry the... No, Harold's gonna blow it up.
If you're gonna just
brighter and brighter. We're worrying.
Bonk has gotten to an area where he's gonna need something aside from his hands to dig through this any further.
Seeds.
Bonk, I really don't think this is productive.
Huh.
Can't we just keep going? You have the dirt.
Just bring the dirt with us. You can dig more
He'll
dirt.
just stand back up and just keep gliding along.
The fool just kind of shake his head, kind of looking at all this, and then kind of stare for a little bit at the hole you dug, and the sand will just kind of...
How did you do that?
Oh, the freehold. It's unstable.
I don't think that's much of an answer, but okay.
She'll
Oh,
kind of
right, mortals.
picture the ground, and she'll imagine or wish for a moss path that has flowers at the edges of it.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a nature.
It's going to be a 15.
15. You focus on this, and moss will actually kind of, the sand, and you have a really good view of it now. The sand doesn't so much like give way to moss, and moss doesn't sprout up in the sand. The sand becomes moss under your feet. And a little flower bud kind of pops up next to your right foot. And as this effect moves out away from you, it just kind of shimmers and then stops. Like it gets like a few inches away from your foot, and then it's not moss anymore, it's sand.
Huh.
Ah, there, you're getting the hang of it.
Indeed. It's unstable in that it conforms to whatever you really want it to be as long as you can assert your will.
Something like that, yes. The freehold, it's kept stable by the courts, but the courts are at war, and so you have conflicting ideas, so it's not that stable. So it becomes a bit suggestible. You just kind of have to think about it for a bit.
Don't.
I want to.
No. Don't even think about thinking about it. No, Bonk, don't
I'm gonna start
encourage him.
thinking about my seeds everywhere.
Stop.
Okay. Roll me a crafting check.
Not a sentence we're ever going to say out of context.
It's a 27.
A 27.
I rolled a 19.
So
Why are you
you
like
actually focus on it, and these seeds will actually kind of fall, like the sand will just kind of morph into seeds, and the seeds extend out around you a good ways, and it's like dozens and dozens and dozens, like easily tons of these.
See, they're not always bad.
Birchwood,
Tastes like seeds.
You pick it up and eat it, and it is a
I
gourd
can
seed.
put it in my mouth. I can't eat it. I don't eat.
Do you have a jaw? You don't have a jaw, do
I
you?
have a mouth hole.
You have a mouth hole. Okay. And you have a tongue in that
It's
mouth
just
hole.
sitting in the mouth hole on my tongue.
Tastes like
It's
a gourd seed.
It tastes like the outside of a gourd seed.
I'm going to do something really stupid because I'm supposed to protect them, and I'm just going to run really quickly over them and see if anything happens.
You step on them, but none of them explode or anything like that.
Wait, are they my seeds? Are they my seeds?
They sure look like it.
Roll a d20, and if you get a 1, you get tangle-footed.
Nope. It doesn't happen.
That's my seeds. That's just all of my seeds.
Oh, all of your seeds because they have that goopy stuff in them?
No, seed pods. All of my seeds, on a critical hit, they work like a tanglefoot bag.
Oh, but you have to throw them and critically hit with them.
Yes.
Okay, if they're laying on the floor and you step on them, it's not that big
It'd
a deal.
be funny,
but
though.
It would be funny, yeah. But yeah, no, they just look like a big old pile of gourd seeds.
Gourd seeds. They're not killing anyone.
Are they
Especially the
tasty?
bird.
I mean,
Nah.
you have to process the heck out of gourds to make them tasty. Like
Good
pumpkin
point.
pie is like 1 part gourd, 1 part sugar. It's like,
All right. Well, I guess that it's safe, so we can keep going.
Bob, perhaps you should have Birchwood like connect to his tall cousins, and maybe that would get us somewhere faster.
Could you talk to the Fey trees?
I absolutely can. What might I ask them?
Hi.
Perhaps whose side they're on?
Excellent. That is a good idea. And I will walk over, or so at the moment I'm like completely constrained, my arms and legs in to be her walking cane. But I'll plop my arms out, pop the legs out, and hobble over to a tree.
yeah, really your arms just rotate this way.
Excellent. And I'll pop my hand onto the tree, and the same kind of metamorphosis happens. And I'd like to find out what side, or from my ancestral memories, what does nature feel about the screams versus the fountains?
Okay, I got you. So I'm going to roll me a stealth check.
That is a 2 on the die, plus 2.
Okay. So you get a 4 on your stealth check. Okay. So you kind of tip over and turn sideways and lean up against the trunk. And you kind of, your mind kind of subsumes. You've taken on, like, I guess we'll call this like lore fey forest, right?
Stay still.
And you focus on down, and what kind of your mind and your spirit kind of goes and flows into this thing, and you actually get a picture of Fae that's way different from what you would get with eyes. You get a picture of Fae, and you realize that this isn't really a forest. This isn't really a tree. This isn't really ground. This is... What's the best way to describe it?
He can taste colors.
It's more like...
Thought made manifest.
Everything. This is a world of potential. So imagine potential, right, is sort of like clay.
Exactly.
And you scoop up clay, and you can wrap it in saran wrap and make, like, forms out of it.
Sure.
That is literally everything here. And except instead of clay, it's this, you don't know how else to describe it aside from potential. And it's constrained with these things which are basically they're constrained with principles. That's the best way you can think about them. They're conceptual principles that shape potential to create what you're interacting with. And
real
your
24
brain
indie game super
really hurts when you think about that. There is no will in this forest. There is no will in the land. It exists to have will imposed upon it. The parts of shaped chaos that have will are called fairies.
You look pretty deep in thought there, Buckwood.
But this was a lot of information that's transferred into me, and I will relay that information to
So
these.
as you turn away from the tree to go and start relaying this information, you see an alabaster knight literally looming over you with a sword cranked back.
Danger, everyone!
Go ahead and roll me some initiative.
Stepped off the path. Touched the trees.
And,
this is why you don't touch grass.
Bonk
kids.
is scouting.
Now we're
So
never
you
going to
will
get
have
out
a
of
+1
Mirkwood.
to your initiative.
Okay, yeah.
Righty.
We don't have hero points, huh?
So
Weren't you going to
can't-
give us one?
So you have the... What was I? That doesn't
You
sound like something
were.
I would do.
You
Is
said
initiative
you would.
located somewhere on my sheet?
So
Perception.
initiative is perception normally. However, because you were avoiding notice, you can use your stealth modifier instead if you would like.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, Almira, what you got?
15.
A 15. All right, put you right there. A Bonk.
15.
Who wants to go first?
Me.
That's perfect for the both of them.
Dexterity?
All right. We'll go to Birchwood.
It's a 18.
18. All right. What about Doc?
The 11.
None of us are paying attention.
And how's Harold doing?
I got a 15.
Me.
Me.
I'm gonna go first.
Me.
I love this group so much.
And it's 19. I
Unsurprisingly.
thought he would beat you. All right. And this giant sword is going to kind of guillotine down to get you right in your little sticky midsection there.
He can try.
For a natural 1. You kind of blend in with the tree, right? And this thing just comes down and smashes into the tree and cuts into it about that far before wrenching back. This was a powerful blow. He brought it back and just went with this massive swing, and he's going to wrench it back out and then take a two-handed grip on it and raise into a high guard, and that's his action.
Excellent.
What would Birchwood like to do?
I would love to be able to, as the sword hits the tree, just missing me, I would love to kind of weasel my way in between him and his grasp on his sword and do a telekinetic maneuver and disarm him and have his sword plop down onto the ground near my compatriots behind me.
Gonna try to wrench the sword away. So it's really hard to get away someone's sword from them.
Sure, this is
but you might be able to pull it off.
Disarm with telekinetic maneuver is the objective.
I love it. All right, go ahead. You roll me. Your magic will swirl around you. You kind of wiggle your little stick arms.
Spell attack roll.
Spell attack roll.
Spell attack roll. That is an 18 plus 9.
It's a 27.
27.
Is this going to be our
Reflex.
first
It's
disarm
reflex.
And it's
ever?
against his reflex?
Did you do
Is
it?
this the first
Did you
time
disarm
in 3
somebody
years that a
second edition?
disarm works?
So
Can that
you
happen?
have to critically succeed to disarm someone.
You do, and I think that's a
And you
critical
might have done it.
success. So
Dude, the stick was all we needed.
Take it.
and so actually what happens, it's not just that the sword is ripped from his hands, but you actually see leaves in the air and sort of like the tassels on his armor all flow away and towards you, and you actually feel as though you've actually bent gravity as you yank on this, and this sword is wrenched away from him to kind of spin, and you can actually, you're right next to him, you can hold it, you can catch it if you want, or you can just let it fall on the ground, whatever you want to do.
I believe letting it fly closer to my compatriots is the objective.
Okay, it will fly 5 feet away and land basically at your feet, but closer to the path.
Perfect.
You have an action left if you want to scamper away, pick something up, cast shield. Does he have shield?
I do not.
He has shield. You could leave. It's
Leaf.
Leave.
Make like a tree and
But
leave.
yes, I will kind of maneuver away and closer to Miss Almira.
okay. You can actually make it all the way back to the path. You weren't going too far off if you want to. You scamper kind of over back to the path. And
Danger, right there.
this alabaster knight looks so confused. He has no idea what just happened. What would Almira like to do?
All right, Mr. Guardian of the Forest, we absolutely meant no harm. I promise you, we're not going to bother you again. It's going to be just fine. We'll give you your sword back, you leave us alone, and we continue on our way. No cause for alarm.
How many people have no cause for alarm? at this
Everyone.
party?
I mean, it makes sense that like Leshy Nanny Mom would have no cause. All right, roll me a diplomacy. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, he doesn't have a weapon anymore.
He doesn't.
He might be up to listening.
Ma'am, he attempted to murder me.
Huh.
We have to listen to the mob.
I understand.
22.
22. He doesn't say anything, but his eyes do kind of go back over and see all of you on the path, and then they just kind of fall down to the sword. But he hasn't made any kind of action or anything.
I think if we just give the sword back, perhaps he'll just leave us alone.
Harold.
Gonna look over at the fool.
The fool is like laughing into his hand. He's completely losing it. He's like on the ground, sitting, kind of kicking his feet a little bit.
So we're on the path and we're fine now, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I've heard that mortals just don't listen, but I never thought I'd see it.
Yeah.
We almost got him in half.
Almost.
But you pulled the sword away. That was really impressive.
We're fine, everybody. Let's just leave.
Hey, Bonk. Hey, Bonk.
Bonk shoots off the path straight up to where Birchwood was, right on top of the sword at the foot of this alabaster knight. And as he does, he kind of looks up, and, like, shakes his little stubby arms, and palm fronds shoot out. Thin, kind of long palm fronds, a sheaf on each of these little hands. And he just starts slapping at his shins with these little palm fronds.
All right. Well, that's an action to get up to him, and then
Tiger stance.
tiger stance, tiger claw,
Flurry of
palm frond.
blows.
All right.
You are a
Roll me an attack.
coconut.
2 of attack.
A monka nut.
At 28.
28. Your palm fronds kind of get in behind his greaves there, and you feel it cut into something.
And I'll just throw the second one because they are both together.
Yeah.
The second.
You don't have Stunning Fist, do you?
I absolutely have stunning fist. Comes in. I am agile, so it's only a -4. So 16, second pop front. Which
16.
If 28 didn't crit, 16 definitely.
You
did.
can't quite get it there. You kind of scrape off of the this iridescent armor that he's got. So you hit him once.
As it slaps him, these little, as you see a flash as this little sheaf of palm fronds slice forward, the edges of this almost shining in the light. Their razor's edge honed. He's going to take 8 points of slashing damage, and he needs to make a fortitude save.
Okay. He is gonna get.
Not high, but
Where is this?
He fails,
I never got
but if he
one
fails, it's
Stunning
funny.
Fist.
It's so class DC said.
Yeah, there it is. Goodness gracious. Okay. He's gonna get a 30.
Yeah, you need to roll like a 2 for this. Damage.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's stunning fist. It's class DC.
All right.
I'm gonna sit there after sunfest. Ma!
Do you have an extra act? I think you have an action left.
Move, tiger stance, flurry.
Flurry,
Okay,
tiger
three.
stance. All right, Doc.
Oh no, he's starting it. Oh no, Mom!
And move over to Bonk.
And you stop being a bully.
And going to spend 2 actions to cast Sanctuary, touching Bonk's back.
Okay. Okay.
so
That's the one that protects him unless he attacks someone, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just checking.
So the thing has to... But
He has 1 round of Sanctuary.
He does.
He needed it. It's perfect.
All right. Okay.
And that is divine, so...
Yes, indeed. So here's something that you've kind of noticed. You've been kind of in the wonder of this area. When you go and reach for this divine magic, you feel like you're having to like pull it through a filter. It's almost like you can still access it. It's still there, but your God feels very far away. It's like and you're almost having to like, it feels like you're pulling taffy to kind of get your magic out of here. But it'll kind of pull and resist, and then boom, you have it, and it's in your hands right now. And you go ahead and throw up this sanctuary around Bonk.
So Bonk now has what looks like tiny little carrot tops all over, all over his body that kind of loosely sway back and forth to try and protect him.
I love it. Did you step off the path?
I have to go over to him to touch him. So yes,
I
I
don't know
did step
how
off
far
the path.
off the path we were in the first place.
You were like 5 feet off.
Okay,
the path.
so then you could maybe do it from the path.
Oh, okay.
Only
Well,
5 feet up.
If you
Can
wanted
reach
to be
from the path?
careful about it, you probably could.
Okay, I
I
didn't
just
realize how
just
far-
where Birchwood was.
Yeah.
Okay, if I didn't have to go far, then yes, then Doc would have stayed on the path and just touched
Okay.
Bonk to give him the spell.
Okay, perfect. The knight is going to kind of stare at the sword and just kind of open his hand, and the sword is going to kind of flit and kind of turn into light and fly to his hand, and he has it again. And then he's going to take a big, massive swing and axe chop it down before swinging it again and coming around a second time. And so let's do this. We've got a 21 to hit you.
Sanctuary. He has to make a.
Oh, he has to make a wheel save. All right,
Don't roll a 1.
for a nat 20.
Hey.
Well, the spell ends then.
All right.
That wasn't going to last anyway.
So a 21, and then he's going to second attack is going to be a 17.
21 is exactly my AC. So he gets just like bonk.
This D12 needs to stop rolling.
Pencil.
Okay, that'll work. So this is going to be 18 points of slashing damage. This thing hits you on your coconut head. You feel it separate a little bit, but then the rest of the force just kind of drives you down to the ground, and you're kind of up to your waist in the loam of the forest as he smashes this thing down on you. How's Birchwood doing?
All right. So, are we full on engaging here?
I don't
or-
particularly want to, but that moron, won't stop hitting him.
The fool in the back is rolling on his back now, laughing.
Can we pick him up?
Let's find out how many more of these are out there, and I will cast a bullhorn, and I will kind of reach into the ground and let my tendrils go out into the root system, getting to the trees. Then an echo from all the trees. If you are around, we offer no harm. Your man here, and I point at him directly, who was disarmed by me moments ago.
Bully.
Is treating us unfairly, and we are here to help with the screams. So either help us or not.
You make a diplomacy check. Let's see. Let's see what happens. As this echoes throughout the area.
It's like a 500-foot range or something.
It is a 500-foot range. Plus 11. 12 plus 11. We are looking at 23.
23. Oh my god.
It's his only expert skill is
It is my only
I love it.
expertise. I've been trying to figure out how to use it this
Out of
entire
character,
time.
real quick though, were you wanting to call out for we're supporting the screams, or
So I wanted to mention that we are opposing the screams. Is the idea? Yeah, opposing
The
the screams.
opposite of what you
Yes.
said. Fair enough.
Is it the opposite of what he said? I thought that was what he
I
said.
thought he said he was here
No,
to miss
for
me.
no.
No,
we're
he
here to
said we're
assist
here to
fountains.
help with the scream.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's okay. It happens. You guys are in combat. I understand.
You have coconut fibers.
You guys
in
are
yours.
incompetent. We get it.
You know,
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's good. That's enough. I'm trying to think of what's nearby. That would. Okay. All right. I know what I'm doing.
Front lines.
All right.
And 500-foot range.
Oh yeah. That echoes.
I think the screams heard me say I disarmed this gentleman.
Yeah, I think the screams heard that you're going to fight them. I mean, this is probably made it all the way back there.
I like it.
What's Almira doing?
Almira is going to attempt to go over to Bonk and pull him back and try to shove good berries in his mouth.
So you're trying to shove Bonk, or you're trying to shove berries in his mouth?
Yes.
I'm trying to shove him away back onto the path first.
Okay, so you're going to move over to around Bonk, which will take you off the path, and make an athletics check to shove him.
Nice.
16.
How's Bonk's fortitude DC?
For shoving?
Yes.
21. I'm a root leshy.
You push. You
Push it.
go
and
push
it's
him.
like
Yeah.
one of those little wobbling things you push. It just whoop, whoop. The coconut just
Does she need to make a wisdom save to shove him?
Sanctuary ended because he critically was like, no.
It's like, this is what I'm here for. This is my Fey purpose. All right, go ahead and so yeah, that didn't work out so well. But do you have good berries? Do you need to cast good berry? I think you have to cast that to make good berries before you can.
No, you have them. It's going to take 10 minutes, though.
Okay.
What?
I see. It's a medicine check.
It's a medicine check.
Fancy. It's a medicine check.
These are dried good berries.
So would you like to abort that action and do something else?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that. I thought it did something else. Wow, okay. That was totally not what I thought. Sorry, new. All right, we're going to do something else.
So you're standing there off the path. You have unsuccessfully attempted to shove Bonk. You have one action left.
I am going to attempt to read aura. No, not read aura. Recall knowledge and see if I can get any information about things that I've heard about this type of fae to see if I can logic our way out of this.
Sure. You want to use nature for this?
Sure.
Since it's all Fey-like?
Plus 11.
Plus 11. Okay. So this is a guardian Fey. And when you were on the path, you were safe. If you step off the path, he's on you, right? Unfortunately, you also have heard that these paths are sometimes called peaceful paths, which seems to jive with what the name of this freehold is. And so by bringing violence to the path, you may have
Voided.
exempted yourself from its protection.
Well, not me, just him.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Bonk.
So what's Harold want to do?
I'm gonna imagine that the path is wider.
Nice.
If I can't bring Bonk to the path, I will bring the path to Bonk.
That's genius.
Wow. All right. Roll me a
You really
Would this
aren't
be?
16.
I'd let you use craft for this. Yeah.
Craft's fine.
Yeah.
That will only be a 12.
Only be at 12.
He's pretty rooted.
You kind of get to the end, you try to focus on it, and you see sand kind of form a bit out in the dirt, but you just can't quite push it out. But that was only a single action. You want to try it again?
Imagine harder.
Imagine harder. Go for it.
Just have the multiple imagine penalty.
There you go. Does it have a multiple imagine penalty?
It doesn't actually. It doesn't have the attack trait. So
Then that'll be a 25.
25. It's enough. You're able to force and focus really closely, and the ground around Bonk will actually.
I'm including the creature too.
You're including the creature too? That's fine. You can only get one.
Only one.
Yeah, you're pushing it out
push
there,
it
and
5 feet.
that's the best you can do. Is you're focusing as hard as you can, and white sand will just kind of roll out and cover Bonk's feet. And as soon as that happens, the Alabaster Knight stops and just kind of puts his guard back down and turns to go walk off into the woods.
I'm going to do it again, pushing him into the path so he has to run, like he's forced to not be there, because as far as I can tell, he can't come on the path.
That is a conclusion that you could draw from having looked at things.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me some dice.
He turns back around.
23. Sorry, 21.
21. 21. Sure. Yeah, you focus on that, and the sand rolls over the knight's boots. But the knight seems entirely unperturbed by it and just walks off into the.
Worth a try. I thought it might scare him.
I think he's just walking away.
Bonk, don't stay on the sand.
Everything's okay now.
He opens his little mouth hole. Tongue just kind of bleps back out. Palm fronds just kind of recede back into his arms in this small little almost leafy collar he has below his coconut head. He turns around back towards the party. Slams his head into the sand. He's going to start doing a medicine check on himself. Sort of pats it around the top of his head where he got bonked.
You're looking a little worse for wear as well. Let me take care of you. Here, eat these. They're very sweet.
Thank you.
Are you looking the worse for wear?
I did not get hit. They
I
missed
thought
me
That's
entirely.
right, they missed him.
He looked just like the
Nat
tree, so he couldn't
one.
tell them apart.
Nat one and then a disarm. I will remember that.
He looked so
forever.
much like the tree, even you couldn't tell the difference.
You're trying to like heal the tree, and like literally like his Bertrad's right next to you. It's like, well, I'm right over here.
Well, thank you for your concern, and thank you, Gentleman Coconut, for coming to my aid.
Bonk, are you all right?
I'll take care of it, Bob.
And just nod in the sand, rubbing back and forth, sand getting picked up in the coconut fibers.
Why don't you give me a medicine check? I guess you guys are gonna sit here for 10 minutes.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, I'm doing this. I don't know if we're gonna sit here, so I haven't rolled nothing yet. But if we're
Yeah,
gonna,
we'll sit here and let
Sit
him
here.
heal.
Bonk has a quite a large gash that was chopped into his.
Would you like assistance with your...
I can
Okay.
assist as well.
Bonk's got 50 health. Like, Bonk
It's only a third of his health. That's
That's
fine.
fine. You can assist if you want to.
Oh,
I'm
put
an
some-
expert in medicine if you want me to shoot for the
I'm going for the expertise. I'm an
Okay, then
expert in
you're-
medicine.
seeds in the
I
hole.
came prepared to get bonked. Don't
Nice.
worry.
Nice.
All
My name
right.
and what I do.
During these 10 minutes, you actually will get your focus point back because that's how long it takes to get your focus point back.
Thank you.
And as a sork, you just get it back. You don't have to do
rolling
nothing. It just
Okay,
like
both
I'm
of you?
just magic.
Oh, okay.
You just get the
Nice.
best
Good to
of
know.
whatever result.
Play
Or
swords,
if he's
guys.
a negative
We
and I'm a
do.
positive.
Of course. So I fail, but I don't
I
critically
succeeded.
fail.
Okay, well,
So it's a wash. I'm an expert.
Leshy gaggle over here just doing weird Leshy stuff.
Yep. Maybe something good will come of it. You're going for expert?
Going for expert. And I exactly got it because I have a +9 and I rolled an 11.
Very
so
nice.
exactly 20.
Perfect. I believe that's going to be, what is that, 48 plus?
No, it's
2d8 plus
2d8 plus
10.
10.
2d8 plus 10.
So it's the 48 and the crits adds 10 on the tiers. Question mark.
Right.
I have a full health.
Great.
Yay.
Kind of-
After 10 minutes of Buck's
sand, rub
head being
sand.
buried and just rolling around, his head is very sandy. You see, he pulls his head back up out of the sand, and he is very now like white powder matted all throughout these fibers, but he looks perfectly fine. It's like,
The gash isn't there anymore. It's full of sand now.
nothing happened.
There you go. Perfect. The fool has lost it. He's like, that's amazing. No, you don't pay attention. It's amazing. But I'm actually quite impressed. You managed to handle that night. I think you might be able to actually do this. Oh, the war's gonna be over. This way. He starts dancing as he goes down the.
Dancing with
Oh, that's great. He's loving it.
Mr. Fay, it occurs to me.
Yes, Miss Elf.
There's no natural.
You see how that sounds?
Her name is Bob.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Fool? I feel
Perfect.
bad calling you fool. That
But it's
seems-
what I am.
All
I worked
right.
long and hard to get this job.
All right, fool. There's no natural sunlight here, is there?
Well, what can be called natural here to you mortals? There's no ball of giant fire in the sky raining down heat and fire on everything? Of course not.
How are they?
How is that even natural? How
are
do you
th-
think that
How
natural?
are they looking?
They look fine.
Okay.
I like it.
I brought.
Nighttime does happen in Galarian, you know.
I know, but I'm just worried about because they are beings of a certain kind and their energy might be different. I don't know how it's going to affect them.
So you know that Leshy, from your vast experience of taking care of, well, at least 4 Leshy, at least 5, that Leshy can actually go for like a week before
Okay.
they start to run into trouble.
She's just reassuring herself that her charges are all right.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Fool, does that mean that if I imagine daytime, I get daytime?
Ha, if you're strong enough to, but good luck with that. You'd have to override the wills of both the Lord and the Lady to make that happen.
I'm really tempted to just roll a nat 20.
You know, Nat 20s don't let you rewrite the
I
laws of the
know.
universe.
It'd be funny.
It would be funny, though.
Malachite says daytime. That's interesting.
I suppose
They
we'll
really-
keep walking.
Are they really that powerful?
Yes and no. They're very willful at what they want, and the land responds to them because there's no more of the court, the old court, to keep them in check. But physically and powerful, well, they'd probably slice you in half, and probably anyone standing next to you. But that's why there's even more of you. So I'm sure it will work out.
Is it possible to run a ancestral memory to find out what Eladrin wants? What are his wants?
I'd suggest you go ask him.
Understood.
Let us continue
This
then.
place is so odd.
Although if you wanted, I would let you transfer it into Lore Fey courts, which you might actually have heard of this guy through ancestral
Lore
memories.
Fey nobility.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
like lore nobility, but for Fey.
Yeah, it's a plus
Love to do that.
+5. You said it is
+5.
All right.
Roll it. I forgot.
So you kind of try to focus on this as your ancestor spirit, your nature spirit, kind of tries to flow and to know about the Fey courts here. And interestingly enough, you've heard of the freehold of the peaceful expanse, but As for the sub-courts, like the Court of Eternal Fountains, the Court of Encroaching Screams, it's just a little too esoteric. You just don't know anything about that. But aside from that, the path winds through the forest in the sort of half twilight of the sub-canopy gloom. And you can see in the distance that the forest kind of gives way to a complex sort of built up of alabaster, stone, and marble arches. And you start to hear sort of a gentle music kind of flow through on the air. And this would probably be a pretty decent time to take a midstream break, I would think.
Pretty good in there.
What about
Get
the
your keys and
bathroom?
everything out.
Yep.
Get your drinks refilled to
your
put them back in.
And we'll be back in a little bit to see what these dang idiots do next.
He told us it was a druid escorting 4 stupid leshies. I don't know what you thought we were going to do.
I didn't know, man. But yeah, I'd say the stories where it's like, the Fae are like, hey, don't walk off the path. And then like the person literally walks off the path and their life is ruined. That almost happened right before my eyes. So, I mean, fairy tales happen, guys. I don't know what to say.
Tell me what to do.
We're going to go to the
We'll
Court
be
of
right
Eternal
back.
Stupidity.
Yeah, I love it.
Doom in by the...
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good break. We're back to Adventures in Feyland with Leshy shenanigans. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we are on. We're ready. I'm excited. Let's go.
If anyone's going to die, it's going to be me.
We have, and well, you know what? You've done your job as a daycare teacher. That's how daycare works, right?
Literally,
Die before your students.
One person has taken damage, and it's me. I got bumped.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly so.
2 of you actually deserved it, but you got away with it. So it's just you.
And then rewarded.
Yeah, and I know. Rewarded with the first successful disarm in Pathfinder2e history.
First live stream successful disarm check in second edition.
It was masterful.
Amazing.
Make sure you
Absolutely
clip that out
amazing.
afterwards. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, you have made it to the Court of the Eternal Fountains. And indeed, this place looks serene is the best way to describe this. You move in, you hear the bubbling of fountains, and you can actually see them. The area is open to not really to the sky, but you can kind of see the sky. The trees are kind of thinned out here. And there are arches, rings. It's very decorated, but here there's actually not many people, not many Fae. You maybe see 1 or 2, and again, there are these statuesque Fae knights wearing sort of these featureless alabaster masks, carrying these massive weapons. But here, instead of being actively on patrol or apparently actively hunting the minions of the encroaching Scream Court, they seem to be just lounging in various states of repose. Some of them sitting cross-legged on the ground. Some of them sitting by a pool, listening to the fountains. You don't see them doing anything. They just seem to be sitting in sort of a stasis.
Oh, maybe they're babysitting Leshy too.
Don't see any Leshy, but you know what? You never know.
You see 1 leshie, at least, in the fountain. This Bonk would immediately rush up to the nearest fountain and sort of teeter over at the side. Splashes little nubs in the water.
You have acrobatics, right?
Hell no.
Oh, you're really top heavy, aren't you?
Absolutely on course.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me one of those?
Just the act of bending over might have tipped him.
Very well, yeah.
15.
15. Well, you can kind of starts to pinwheel his little arms.
I'll kind of go
a little
grab
bit
him.
and go, good. And you kind of manage to pull him back.
Why do you want to drown?
Why would he drown? He's a coconut.
If he leaps forward, do you want to try to make a, what would this be? Reflex, I guess, to try to grab him? Go for it.
You know how coconut seeds work, right?
It's going to be a 19.
19, that's probably, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Sure.
On my reflex DC?
Yeah, you grab him. Sure, yeah.
My reflex is 21.
Okay. Well,
My fort to be moved against my will is also 21.
fair enough. But it's not to be moved against your will. It's to not
fair.
move. What's your
That's
fortitude DC minus without that?
19. It's +2 from the root.
Oh, okay. So that's actually exact. Perfect, actually. So yeah, like you managed to grab him, and he's like, again, like at a 45-degree angle, playing with the water, but not falling in yet.
Bonk, we have a job to do. Bonk, you can play with the water later.
Leshy question. Do we breathe? He's a face cut in a coconut. I'm one of those. I'm basically a pumpkin. I'm a Halloween pumpkin.
So
What are you trying to say?
I would describe it like this. I would put that squarely in the do not think about it. Because the mechanical answer is yes.
Gourds are people
Just
too.
don't think about it. But yes, if you don't want to breathe underwater, you can be a seaweed leshy, and they can breathe underwater just fine. But all the rest of you totally breathe.
You can drown.
We're spirits.
You can drown it. You can drown
Living
your
in-
pumpkin spirit.
You can drown as a pumpkin. Yup.
No
Oh,
existential crisis at the table, please.
Flick the water off of my hands, just randomly around.
Flying everywhere.
Miss Almira, maybe it's best to leave Bonk fiddling in the water while we go and have our conversation with Eldron.
No,
We are not leaving Bonk alone in the Fae.
We have to go together.
Oh,
Okay,
Besides, they might respect how big his head is.
this is true. It's mighty
He
fabulous.
might cause a diplomatic incident.
I think that would be left to the one who sets things on fire with his seeds.
That sounded so wrong. Let's go.
The one thing actually is that as you enter, the fool actually will hang back and not enter the court. He'll just kind of wave you on. Go on then. Go on.
Is there like a big house we're supposed to go to? Because that's where important people live, is a big house.
Try that one. And he'll point at one of them.
All right. Everyone stay with me.
Glorious.
I'll walk up to the fool, like right. Is he like right at the threshold?
Yeah.
Like he's right there.
Yeah.
I'll hold it over my hand.
He does this and backs away from you. Oh, no.
I'll point back into the court.
I'm not going in there. Absolutely not.
Ah.
Well, why not?
He's not my lord, and I'm not his fool. Out here
I heard
is
you
the
were nobody's
freehold.
fool.
I'm the freehold's fool. It's just that the freehold is no one.
I'm still
Yet.
All right. Let's go and leave him here.
Yes, off you go now.
Do we see any people walking around this
There's
area?
there's like two alabaster knights, but they're like one's sitting by a pool, one's over there. None of them are looking at you. They're just kind of chilling out, it seems. It seems this is a big area. Like you could hold like a lot of people here, but it seems that most of them are out in the forest at the battle lines.
Sir Knight, Sir Mask, Sir with the mask on. We are seeking a audience with Lord Eldron of the Fountains.
Eladran.
Eldron.
Yep, the other one's copyrighted, I think. The knight will actually raise its masked face to regard you and then sort of draw itself up. And despite the armor it's wearing, it moves silently across the open ground, crossing in front of you. And it kind of looks you over. And then it turns and beckons with its hand and walks towards one of the center buildings.
Light up again.
This area actually is very bright. It's not like the ambient light is any brighter. It's just that there's so much alabaster and marble around you. What light there is reflected over and over and over again. You have no trouble seeing here. You will apparently all follow him, it seems. All right.
If he's going into the house.
He's going into the house. He's going
Yeah.
to lead you to this house.
He knows where he's going.
He'll move and push a pair of double doors, which will, again, completely silently move. The ambient sound that you can hear is this bubbling of the fountains and maybe some just ethereal sort of chiming of magic. This is a very peaceful, serene place. And no other sounds seem to. Honestly, the loudest sounds that's here is all of you. Like it's your footsteps, and it's playing in the water, and it's anything you say. the night. Yeah, that too. Bump. That was all your fault. I mean, these guys are perfectly silent.
She will, at this point, as we're walking in, Marcus, and she will actually, on her hood that she's wearing, her green hood, will use sigil to emblazon the mark of the house.
So sigil technically only works for your own symbol. It's your personal symbol.
No, you can do whatever symbol you want. You
Okay.
can change shapes.
Well, regardless of the fact, go ahead and roll me a crafting check or a will save, whichever one you want.
Will it is. Will you or won't you? That would be a nat 1.
Nat 1. Okay.
You lose the spell forever.
You go to cast the spell to kind of duplicate the crest, which you remember seeing on Sir Altman, and you cast this on your hood, and it flares with light and actually burns away at your hood. You're going to go ahead and take 2 points of fire damage.
Ow!
And you actually feel your spell be recoiled from this area. You're recalling knowledge, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ooh, why don't you go ahead and, you know what? I'll roll your nature for you. You're not 100% sure, but it seems like Mom over here tried to forge identification papers.
You know, that's a crime, right?
No, we are on their side. I was just making it clear.
This is not the weird little flashlight. Bonk pulls out a little wooden sphere with a cork cap on the top, almost like a tiny little hairless, smooth coconut.
Oh, thanks, Bonk.
What did you give her?
What you looking at me for?
It's
I don't know what
a
that is.
drink? Oh, okay. Take the cork out, drink it.
It's just coconut milk.
3d6 plus 6 health back.
Adorable.
You feel way better. Burning goes away.
Lesser healing potion.
Woo!
Thank you, Bonk.
Bonk didn't have a lot to buy.
That's really sweet. Pat the coconut. I like the coconut milk taste too. It's a really nice touch.
That's mildly horrifying if you think about it.
Yep.
What's it? Margarita. It's got coconut in it.
No, it's a pina colada.
Pina
dear.
colada. There you go. I don't know alcohol.
Taste vaguely pineapple-y.
Let's continue, and I guess we won't do that again.
The knight will actually lead you into this structure, which is completely open. There's no roof on this building. And at the far end is a white stone throne, is best way to describe it. And lounging on the throne is a figure who looks similar to these alabaster knights, but he is massive. Towers over all of you. If he was fully standing up, he might be like 12 to 15 feet tall. The guy is large with the capital L, we'll say. And he sort of lounges kind of one hand up against his chin, and he'll see you enter. He is not masked. You can actually see his features, which are cut sort of in a very severe elven style, very high cheekbones, very narrow face, piercing eyes. The ears actually come straight up, and while some elves are these are ears that are made out like mortal ears, these are not mortal ears. These are almost look like they are carved from alabaster, much like his face, very severely. And he'll look, and the knight will bow wordlessly to him, and then leave you all here. Mortals, I see. Come to my court. You have the stink of the fool on you.
Does he smell bad?
It's noticeable.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He cut open a tree, and then we were here.
Wow.
So then, you're here to swear fealty to me and my court as knights and take down that Uxana and her court of raucous screams, encroaching screams, she calls it.
Well, the last guy who sealed the tree was on your side, so we figured why not.
quite proper. That incorrigible vixen comes to try to tramp over everything that I've built here. For centuries, this court has stood here, providing peace and serenity.
And why does she want to do that?
It's in her nature. She seeks nothing, she cares nothing of what was built in the past. She only seeks her own pleasures and that of all of her sycophants, which I admit she has plenty of. No shortage of people willing to abandon any sense of loyalty for indulging in their own base desires.
So, if we help you, we can heal the tree.
Of course. I will open the seal and let you through myself, unless you wish to stay with me as knighthood, truly assisting me in this and bringing her low so that I can incorporate her court into my own will make the freehold strong again. With that, I will be able to go and open the way back to your realm and seal it behind you if you wish.
Oh, that sounds like a good deal.
Well, before that, what happens to the fool? Well, he cut the tree open. The tree's important.
Well, every court needs a fool. With Uxana dealt with, and I will be able to rule as the uncontested lord of the entire freehold, and he will become my fool.
I mean, if he's his fool, he's his problem.
Fair.
Well, every court needs a fool. Don't you even have them in the mortal realms?
Do we do?
We call ours Bonk.
Bonk's not a fool.
But
is very much a
what
fool.
qualifies you to lead the entire region?
The entire region? Well, I'm clearly the best qualified. Look what I have built here. Look at how serene it is. You would have Uxana run rampant over this entire area. Have you even seen what she's capable of?
We have not.
Shuffle over to Virtue. Yeah? Put a hand like at the top of his head. Yeah.
That's an excellent point, Bonk.
If you want, you can go ahead and see Uxana's court yourself. It lies to the east, and assuming you make it out alive, perhaps you'll be more willing to agree with my proposal.
Oh, I think not. How long have you been ruling here, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, mortal time doesn't translate well, but kind of thinks for a bit. Centuries, longer? But time is different here than you would know it.
That's at
It
least
moves
few
at
of
a
your
different
cousins.
rate.
Baby.
All right. How can we help you?
Travel to Uxana. Swear allegiance to me. Become my knights and my vassals. I will give you gifts from my court. Powerful weapons, armor that you can take with you on your fight. You will likely need it if you're to pull down Uxana. She's a crafty one, and not as powerful as me, of course, but she has her strengths.
Okay, how do we swear fealty?
I think you'd swear fealty.
Oh, all right.
Simply give your word, of course.
Well,
Take a knee. Accept me as your lord and master.
Why do we have to say bad words?
It doesn't matter to me, but I'm not giving you any sort of gifts unless you swear fealty. Nonetheless, even if you choose not to accept my gifts, if you manage to put Uxana down, I will go and allow you to go home.
Bob, I'm not comfortable saying bad words in front of a stranger.
What do you mean, dear?
He wants us to swear.
No. All he wants us to do is say that we're willing to be on his side.
What if you don't have knees? Bonk doesn't have knees.
Look down my little stumps.
And I am my straight legs.
Nah.
I suppose you can just fall over.
With zero hesitation, Bonk would just flop face down the ground. Just kind of rolling.
It's the water fountain all over again.
I will also flop right down with Bonk.
Also, just lay flat. Everyone.
Just lay flat.
Yes.
Everybody.
Follow suit.
Bunch of leshies show up in the fake kingdom and immediately swear fealty to the first person.
Makes sense.
Second person we met. The first
Why
person we
not?
met's a jester.
Very well. I accept your vows of fealty. Rise, my knights. And as he says that, you'll feel sort of a coolness around your chest. And each of you, as you rise up, will have a disc, which is centered in your chest, which bears your name and Sir. Sir Bonk. We have Sir Doc. We have Sir, and it is Sir. Almira, thank you. Sir Harold, and we have Sir Birchwood. And as you rise...
Not Dame?
No, not Dame, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Not Dame. He'll actually make a clap, which is very quiet. And attendants will actually come from the back. These are actually the first members of his court that you've seen that are not the Alabaster Knights. They look, first off, they're significantly smaller than him and the Alabaster Knights too. They're actually about Almira's stature. And they sort of have, again, that sort of overly severe elven features about them. But they come and they bring out these regalia, and you can see these. You actually get to see up close again and hold in your hand things, the actual armor and weapons that they're bringing out and that they're offering you. And now I know not a lot of you wear armor per se, but this seems to kind of just be Eladran's thing.
Wait. Is there any way we could make that not metal of any kind?
It actually, you pick it up and you hold it, and it's actually, you put it on and all your magic falls off. Nerd.
Druids. Stupid idiot.
You know what you get by signing up for me? A bill of goods.
So good.
So if you want, this is called Gossamer Plate.
Nice.
And
I like
it is going to be armor. It's going to have an item bonus of +4 and a max dex bonus of +2. Ooh. And it only weighs a bulk, even though it is basically covers you like plate does. And it has no strength requirement. It is incredibly light. And seems to be woven out of, you have no idea, shaped out of the essence of the wilds themselves. There are also a number of gossamer weaponry and swords. I don't think any of you use them now that I think about it.
Zero weapon users in the party.
I use a weapon.
Use a weapon? I mean, if you want to...
Do they have anything ranged? Like a bow?
I mean, I can use weapons. I'm just as trained in simple weapons.
Does anyone want a weapon?
I would like a bow.
So the thing with gossamer weapons is they're just going to be lighter. They're going to be really, really light. So one bulk less than they normally are.
I would still like a bow. If they have one.
They can get you a bow. I thought you only use simple weapons as a druid, though. I think bows are martial.
I'm a ranger also.
You have the ranger archetype, which doesn't give you weapon proficiency.
Oh, it doesn't?
That's the fighter archetype you're thinking about.
I thought it did.
It gets you hunt prey, so you can see things and see targets really well. Like actually describing Roxana would make her a good target for hunt prey. But
nice.
Do you have anything that might benefit a spellcaster of sorts?
Bonk picks up just like a short spear stick that has a pointy end.
Why, thank you. Excellent.
Kind of sticks to the end of your stick arm.
This is my cousin, actually.
This is my cousin.
Bonk's going to take the armor that gets brought to him. He's not going to put it on. Doesn't really have a body for armor. But he'll take, moving Kuros to the side. I don't know how this is divvied up. It's not. Is this like big plate or?
You guys can get whatever you want. It shows up. If functionally, this is basically medium armor. That's kind of basically what this thing is. So, but what are you thinking about?
Medium gossamer greaves.
Greaves go on your
head.
That's a helmet. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Considering the size of his head versus the calf of one of the big warriors, he just puts it on like a helmet.
And it's like the jester head.
I like it.
I got two little pant legs.
You got two little pant legs
it's
coming
like
up
the
off
jester
of it.
head.
Okay.
And just sit there and smack the pant legs.
I love it.
So the item bonus is +4?
Item bonus is +4. Max dex is +2.
I set it as leather armor. I set it as leather armor and just modified it so that my AC basically functionally goes up.
See, if you had a piece of paper.
Yeah, but I fixed it so my AC is correct.
Okay, as long as it's right and you're happy with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bonk puts these gossamer pants on
Oh,
his head.
alchemists can wear medium armor now. Hey.
So effectively, it goes up by 1 since it lowers my dex cap.
Okay.
Gets these gossamer pants on his head, and then stands up all straight, and then starts like the song the Fool was singing on the road after we got in the fight.
The greaves actually kind of jingle a little bit as you walk, almost like you have little jester bells on the end of your hat. One thing that you'll find actually as you that crest kind of comes and you actually feel this serenity kind of wash over you. The serenity of the surrounding area seems to sort of flow into you, and you just kind of feel not happy but content. A sort of like, this is fine. Like the forest could be on fire, you would be fine with it kind of thing. But like not like you're drugged up or anything. Like you actually just feel incredibly even. I guess that would be like a really high dose of SSRIs now that I think about it.
Wow, thank you, Nick.
No one else will get.
Yeah, sorry. You go ahead and you equip yourselves from the armory, and once you are fully kitted out, Lord Eladran, make sure I get it right. Lord Eladran stands up to his full stature, stretches his arm out. Now go, my knights, to the east. Lay Lady Oksana low, and that she may know her proper place in my court.
Oh, nothing's gonna go wrong.
Absolutely not. We're all together.
It'll be fine.
How long will it take to get there?
Marching in your heart, no time at all.
Okay.
Just remember not to leave the path.
Enfilade and Canto. I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace as we start walking.
Okay. If something should happen to you, no one from here will be able to find out where you went.
I just don't want us to be followed.
Okay, fair enough. You get a feeling that bearing the crests of the court on your chests, all of you, that following you might not strictly be necessary.
Oh, that's true.
And you all set off. I don't think there's...
Eastward to glory.
Yep.
Interesting question. Do I get a sense, now that I've taken this oath and I feel this, do I get a sense that the loyalty is like almost like a physical thing? That like I feel tied to him in some way, or that certain thoughts in my head feel like I shouldn't be having them?
So you're not really able to suss that out at this particular stage. You definitely notice a change in yourself from a mental standpoint.
That's what I was more wondering.
But you're not like, it doesn't feel like you have intrusive thoughts that are forcing loyalty on you.
Okay.
But what's your nature? Or
Plus 11?
Plus 11, yeah.
I'm an extrovert.
So you're thinking about this. You've heard stories about it possibly becoming intrusive over a longer period of time.
Got it.
So you've heard stories of actually knights who swore allegiance to the Fae, and you know they were fine at first, but they're kind of started coming around after a bit.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
You basically, yes. But that's a problem for future
Elmira.
So
Hate to be that lady.
as we're traveling and you go, it wouldn't happen really all at once, as he's not doing it fully on purpose, but you would start to notice that the legs of these greaves get much shorter and kind of tapered at the ends, and almost start to even take on colors as Bonk's journey is just going to start willing this closer and closer to a just actual jester.
An actual
the
jester
longer
cap.
that he goes.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that will just kind of happen as you kind of move. But one thing that will happen is if something does distract you, it will pop back to Greaves.
Boom, back to pants.
Yeah.
That's going to happen a lot.
The minute you stop thinking about it, it whoop goes right back to what it was.
Jester hat on and he gets surprised by the enemy or something, and suddenly there's pants on his head.
Yep, exactly.
Pants.
And as you leave the grounds of the Court of Eternal Fountains, you will see the Fool is waiting for you on the path. Ha! Look at you all, swore fealty right away. Oh, spectacular. I love people who don't ask questions. This way, please.
We're on a timetable.
Absolutely you are. You want to get home, don't you?
Very much.
Hey,
I'll jingle my handle.
it seems like I've got some competition.
Actually, watch this.
They'll
watch
never
this.
find your bones.
Watch this. Hey, Bonk, look.
He'll bonk, and it's the hollow bonking noise.
Bonk, look, a bird.
Huh?
Pants.
Bad.
See?
The Fool gleefully leads you down the path, kind of humming and singing to himself, jauntily striding down the path.
What's gossamer? Gossamer. They said it was made of gossamer. What
Yes,
is
you're
that?
wearing it all right now.
But what is it?
It's that. You're looking at it.
Bonk kind of tugs on your sleeve. Bent over, points to his butt.
I know. Pants. But is it like the rest of face stuff where it's just what you want it to
He'll
be?
tug on her armor again.
I know, sweetheart. It's gossamer. And that's your butt. Well, your coca butt.
Well, I think he's trying to tell you where it comes from.
It comes from his butt?
If it's what I think it is, sort of.
What? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all.
Not his butt.
But that's what he was pointing at.
You're not wrong.
If we sit here discussing Bonk's butt all day, we're going to be late to go back home.
Do we have a time frame?
Mom said we're on a timetable. I think we're on a path, but she said timetable, so let's go with what Mom says.
Okay.
All right. So you move off down the path towards the east, and as you travel through here, you'll actually notice that it goes pretty quickly. The woods almost move by you, almost at an accelerated rate as you move down this path. You feel there's an interaction between the crests on your chest and the magic of the court and this enchanted path that you're walking down, and you seem to be moving through the forest significantly faster than you were before.
That makes sense.
As you continue your journey, the ambient light in the forest just doesn't seem to change. It's always this pervasive twilight, which just seems to always be here. And you're not sure if this is like just the nature of fairy, or if this is like the nature of the court magic, which is enforcing in this area. But as you go further, the path will start to sort of fade, and the sand will kind of blend into the loam of the forest floor, and you will find yourselves just in the forest walking. The Fool continues on unabated, despite the fact that the path has vanished, and your progress has slowed to a walk instead of the flying that you were moving down. But as you move through the undergrowth, you'll notice another thing, that no matter what you're trying to get through, briar bushes, ivy, tangles, anything like that, the forest just parts before you, as though the forest itself does not hinder the vassals of the Eternal Fountain. And you find your traversal of the forest to be quite effortless. As you get further to the east, however, the forest will give way to a massive crater. And when I say a massive crater, the horizon is the crater. Like, there is no more terrain aside from this crater. And staring down, this is the most abrupt change of terrain you have ever seen in your life. And staring down into the crater, you see this massive skeleton of a creature. And this thing is miles away, but you can see the whole thing. Jeez. This thing is massively huge. And the bones appear to be made of black rock that sort of pile up and twist into this serpentine beast that's sort of splayed out. You can't really make too much else, but from the distance, you see a lot of dancing lights that seem to be coming from underneath this massive skeleton at the base of this crater. And the fool will point out and say, there, that's the court of encroaching screams right there. And your target, the Lady Roxana, holds court there.
In the pit?
Yes, beneath the bones, you can see the light.
We're going to jump down into the pit.
Oh, I wouldn't jump if I were you. I'd probably descend a bit more carefully.
Stairs?
Good luck.
Stairs?
I think that's an excellent idea.
All right. I'll look down. I'll imagine stairs.
Crafting check? I'll take lore engineering if you've got that.
I have crafting. It's okay. Mom is good at making things.
It's like a -4, but she has it.
She makes things out of popsicle sticks.
You don't know.
Sometimes they don't
You know
fall
what? That's
over.
a 19 and that's a 26.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good. As you kind of put a foot out experimentally, the wall of the crater kind of just crunks and moves and bends and forms stairs under your feet, and you find descending to be quite easy.
I like this place, sort of. Sort of? I sort of like this place.
Would anyone else like to have up interesting ideas, or you just want to follow Mom down the stairs?
Follow.
Slide.
Okay.
I was thinking the exact same thing, but
I like to be the
roll.
walking stick again if that's
Roll
possible.
down the hill.
Absolutely.
Those of you wanting to walk down the stairs along with Mom, you can try to help by making stairs, by focusing on stairs. Okay, great. So I'll let you use crafting or a will save.
Crafting.
I'll roll a will. I'll help with the stairs as well.
Okay.
At this point, Bonk is finally starting to figure out what is how this is working. Focus really hard on the stairs. Crafting, you say?
It's what I say.
Got a 5 on the die, so that's a 4.
So you start focusing on these stairs really hard, and then the jester's cap has turned into pants without you realizing it and just blinds you. And you completely lose focus.
I'll stop him from falling down the stairs.
I can't read that.
That's a 20. That's the nat 20. That's the
Oh,
2 perception logo, Chief.
okay. Very nice.
That's why you can't read it. It's not
So,
words.
natural 20.
But Bonk doesn't realize that this hasn't worked out because we have Doc here who is focusing so well that he's actually making enough stairs for the both of you.
Dope.
Poses pant legs over his face.
I'm very proud of you, Bonk.
I don't think that. So you're going to try to slide down the side.
Yeah.
All right.
Make
and,
a slide.
And Birchwood is. Are you going down the stairs as
I'm
well?
a walking stick if that's possible.
Yes.
Not a problem.
You are a vine leshie, which means your sticks can get kind of viney and grabby, and you're actually super good at like climbing and gripping
I'll help
things.
her
Yeah.
make sure that she's safe descending down these stairs.
Perfectly fine. All right, so you're sliding down the side. This is
make a
at
slide.
this stage it's incredibly steep. So why would you like to try to make sure you don't go and crack yourself open on the ground?
I'm gonna make a slide.
You're gonna make a slide.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. All right, don't screw it up. I'll let you use crafting or architecture.
Is that a 17? That is a
Sure is,
17.
buddy.
Nice.
So 25.
25. I love it. You basically create a bobsled run that you're just kind of scooting down yourself.
You guys are walking down, and I'm already at the bottom, like,
I see
hey.
him. Bonk sees him go by. He's gonna climb over the side of the stairs into the bobsled and slide down there too.
So the bobsled thing persists very briefly.
He's gonna.
You have a very narrow window to make
I'm
it work.
doing what I said I was doing.
Alrighty.
If it goes away when I get there, so be it.
So let's see here. You're trying to make it work. We'll let you do. Are you going to try to continue the manifestation of the bobsled, or are you trying to just get there quickly?
Bonk wants to ride the slide.
Okay, crafting.
Quickly.
4 on the die, so 3.
So you dive into this bobsled, and you're like, all right, sled, and then you dive into it, and the thing almost. You feel it.
Turns into a jester hat.
So, you know, like whenever I screw up a 3D print and you just have like spaghetti in a bird's nest everywhere, it just explodes into that. And you find yourself in free fall, kind of bouncing down the side of the crater.
Could I have seen him about to do this and tried to get him?
I would say normally you could, because normally you have to keep a very close eye out. But at the moment, you're very focused on making sure that there are stairs under your feet and not empty air. So I'm probably going to say that you're just going to look over and just see Bonk
Just falling down.
making his namesake as he falls down the side.
Oh,
So
dear.
Bonk is in free fall, kind of collapsing and falling down the side of the crater.
He's his own.
You can
drum
take 8 bludgeoning damage as you're bouncing down the rocks. I'm probably going to give you another chance to try to arrest your fall here with something.
Would I have made
Grab
it?
an edge, the reflex save, right?
Yeah, you could. Grabbing a ledge is a reflex save. Yeah.
Let's try to grab, as I'm bouncing down the hill here, just trying to grab onto something to stop bouncing.
Nice catch.
2 on the die, so 13.
So you.
Would I have made it down quick enough to see him coming and imagine a thing?
A lot ahead of him.
Would I have had time to realize what's happening to him?
Spaghetti.
Yeah, so you bobsledded down. You can see you see him try to grab something, and just his giant bulbous head gets in the way, and he just knocks himself out. He's entirely in free fall at this point. You can try to imagine something now. I'll give you one action before he smashes into the
Bonk is just
ground.
screaming.
All right. I'm going to imagine a fountain.
You're gonna try to imagine a fountain. All right.
I don't know if there's water in it, but we're going to find out.
All right.
That is an 11 for a 19.
All right, so you imagine a fountain, but it is not that big. You can't make this
It's a bird
giant fountain, so you're making a really tiny fountain, and you're having to
10,000 points
judge
cue ball.
where he's gonna fall. You go make me a ranged attack roll, and we'll figure it out.
Damn.
Let's see if you can catch him with a ranged attack roll.
I guess I have no control where I'm going.
You have no control where you're going. It's a 1.
It's a 1.
All right.
Yep. I break the fountain before he even gets there.
No, you get it, and you put it down there, like it's at your feet, and then you look up and you just kind of see him just sail over your head, all the way behind you, and then
Bonk, I'll catch you. I got you. I'll catch you.
and you hear a sickening crack as he smashes into the ground. What is it? 2d6 per 10 feet? Is that what this is?
It's just half the distance you've fallen.
Oh, it's literally half the distance you're
Yeah.
falling. Oh, and you fell into the Grand Canyon.
I'm probably fine.
All right, so yeah, he's not moving. You're at 0.
Mom,
Oh, we'll fix him when we get down there.
I need to go down there like now, Mom.
So
I think you're the only one close enough to be able to meaningfully do anything. Unless you want to fling yourself off the stairs.
I'm gonna walk over and pull out a seed. Here you go, Bonk, and put it in his mouth. But this one is actually a thing that I bought.
Oh, okay.
The horror on everyone's face.
I can only imagine Bonk slamming in the ground, just laying there for a second, and then you run over and he just bursts into flames.
No, this one
We
is
all get to eat toasted coconut.
it's a minor elixir of life.
Dope.
Okay.
So you get 1d6.
Yay. 2.
So
You're conscious.
Bonk is conscious. He comes back. This ginormous gash through his face, split in half, somehow just twitching a little bit. Definitely wounded 1.
So about how long do you think it's going to take for them to get down there?
At the rate they're going, descending safely, probably be like maybe 20 minutes.
You're getting a medicine check. With natural medicine, I'm going to use his plant fibers and my seeds to patch up the crack.
To patch up the crack. Okay, I'll let you do that. I don't think there's enough stuff in the bombed out crater to get you your +2 right now, but you're good to make your medicine check with nature.
Bonk does have healer's tools in his
I do as
pouch
well.
with his flashlight.
They're the same. I have it, so.
Presumably your nature is better.
No.
Oh, why are you using
They're the
natural
same.
med? Oh, okay.
I have it because I have it.
Do you want me to aid or you aid? I'm an expert.
Yeah,
in medicine.
you're the expert. It's more healing if you do it.
Fix my face. I'll put expert DC. Give me your aid while they come down the hill.
You are not worse.
Not worse.
By 1.
50-50. Passed. Failed. That's a 10. I thought it was a 16.
Ooh.
19.
19.
No healing.
No healing.
You try the sand. It's not sand here. It's like this. You're actually, now that your face planted into it, this is actually this is a very finely ground obsidian is what this is. And so it is something different about it. It doesn't. It's either it doesn't stick into your thing as good as the sand does, or you're just filling the interior of your head with it, and it's not actually helping.
You three get down to the bottom of the stairs, and Bonk is just crying and shoving gravel into the hole.
Once I'm in range, Doc would like to try and call upon divine healing to actually use the spell heal.
Sure, absolutely.
As the 2-action version, yeah.
2-action version of heal. Okay, so you focus on this, and you're again. It feels like there's a screen in the way, and you're just kind of trying to pull this magic through like taffy, and it will snap out, and this healing surge will swirl out towards Bonk. But what will happen is you will heal the damage, but he'll sort of have this partial sheen of sort of this black obsidian glass that fuses over the half of his face, sort of leaving this shiny surface on the edge of Bonk, which he probably finds very interesting and weird feeling.
Oh, he'll love that.
Okay.
It's different.
So I did take. Where is it? I did take healing hand, so the healing will be
D10s.
Ooh.
What?
And it's heightened. Casting it at
2d10 plus
16.
16.
Yeah.
Dope.
Hell.
Healing hands. Roll double ones.
So that is a 6 and a 2 for 8. Plus 16 is 24.
Yeah.
Mark that off real quick.
And the giant split down his face noticeably closes most of the way.
Wait until I get down there, okay? I know, Bonk. I know.
You
I
did the
didn't-
stupid thing and you paid for it. Maybe you'll think more now before you do stuff.
No, Bob, he really won't.
I did the smart thing, and unfortunately, Bonk thought he could follow.
Well, I suppose it's nobody's fault but his.
I think we could blame the Fae that brought us here.
I mean, we could.
He's up at the top of the edge of the thing.
He's too far to blame.
There's
He hasn't followed us down?
Wait, there's a blame range? 30 feet.
Yep.
Can't blame you. You're outside of 30 feet. Sorry.
Oh, reach blame.
I like it.
That's how you get away with crimes in video games.
And,
There's a blame range.
Red Dead Redemption says yes.
Wow.
Bonk's got a new approach, and Cam just rolls over and sort of just tries to rub his face into this like obsidian grit.
It worked
Gonna
last time.
Battle medicine myself because that's separate from regular medicine.
There you go.
Just knocking himself
You
around.
trying for expert?
Heck yeah, I am. 14, we got there, boys.
Woo!
CDA plus 10. 3 and 6 is 9. 19. Had a quick rustling with his magic in here and pull it up, and I have like half of my face is like this black obsidian.
And the crack is sealed all the way with this obsidian sand, which seems to have fused with this new part of your face.
And he stands up and immediately, like, you see his eyes kind of go wide, and he topples over backwards because he is mega top heavy. If half of his head is rocks.
He's got rocks on the outside and the inside now.
He's more effective at bonking.
Headbutt.
Well,
He looks mostly like there's only a fine visible crack at the very top of his noggin. He looks pretty okay at this point. His little feet are just kicking. He's stuck on trying to spin himself to stand up.
I'm gonna try to raise him up to standing when we get to the bottom if he's still kicking his feet when we get there.
Okay. All right. You're able to kind of pick him up, and he kind of totters up, and It seems like he's definitely having some trouble adjusting.
It's like a baby's first time sitting up. Like, it just can't keep the head. They just keep going.
I have tools. Can I try to, like, I don't know, get the obsidian off of him so that he's not so top heavy?
Do you have crafting tools or a repair kit?
Yeah.
You can try to chip away at him, but let's see. Do you have any medicine?
I have natural medicine and I have a lot of nature.
You can roll some nature for me.
Sure.
I'm just imagining that like we haven't completely noticed like that all the evil people or the entire other court is just watching these idiots.
No, they're
right
evil.
up.
They're evil. You might as well. You're all in, man.
I'm fully in it. They're just watching us just try to fix the coconut.
To be fair, they're very far away.
Okay.
Like that's literally the only reason you
I
haven't had a
thought they
bunch
were
of
right at
people.
the bottom of the crater. I thought we were like right outside.
No,
their
like the
house.
crater is literally like the
That's fair.
horizon.
It's
It is
huge, yeah.
huge.
That's going to be a 26.
26 nature. You are going up using like nature and your natural healing, so you can kind of use that as a medicine check.
mud.
And you kind of look at give an eye once over on Bonk, and you kind of check him out. And you go to like see where you could like chisel this obsidian off, and it's not so much that like the obsidian is over his face. It's like seems to be his face. Like the bit of it that goes over his eye hole, like the eye hole will widen as he gets surprised and narrow as he goes back to calm again. It looks. You don't think taking a chisel to his face is going to necessarily help this.
This is what happens when you visit the Fae.
I'll try to imagine it away. I'll see if I can actually
Many
will
people
it back
try
to being
imagine
his
Bonk
face.
away.
Just looking at his head, coconut.
Yeah, I'll actually see if I can will it back to being what it was.
You will focus and try.
Doesn't it just reset when you stop thinking about it?
You'll focus on it, and you'll actually not have any luck. Apparently, trying to shape other shaped creatures and not the
Okay.
potential of chaos just doesn't. You're just kind of squinting at them. You're not actually doing much.
Well, Bonk, I guess we'll have to just
now.
keep you like this until we figure out how to fix you and kind of roll you this way. I'm just going to start rolling him.
Just shakes the rocks and sand out of the pants right back on the head.
All right. The interestingly enough, the pants, like especially once you focus to a jester hat, because it has these big long branches that kind of come out, they kind of help to provide a bit of counterbalance, almost like you're getting like a little tightrope pole.
Fantastic.
Your head has one now, so it's a little bit easier to stand upright.
Put him in a
Well,
wheelbarrow.
if that's gonna work for you, that'll be good.
I guess we'll continue on our way.
In the distance, the skeleton awaits.
Just reaches over.
You cross fairly uneventfully. You would expect to find sentries. You would expect to find pickets. It seems like there's a lot of activity. No one. You run into absolutely no one. And as you get closer, you can just hear this cacophony of cries and voices and yelling and wails and everything. Like any sound that you could make with a throat loudly is being projected and bouncing around this place. And as you approach, you will see the recesses are just tons of creatures. Unlike the court of Eladrin, they are a ton of creatures here. Various gnome-like things, fae, nymph, sliff, everything is all here. Even like larger monsters that almost look like trolls. And everyone is screaming or yelling or dancing or moving about. And there is literally, it looks like it's just a nonstop party, but frenetic. Like absolutely frenetic. It's almost exhausting just seeing them. And as you walk into the middle of this, no one pays attention to you. Like no one even looks in your direction as you walk in. They all seem entirely engrossed in their own focused activity, whatever it happens to be,
How
which is
rude.
generating all of this noise. But there is one person here who does notice you, and you can see that at the far end of this valley of, I suppose, focused excess is not really so much a throne, but more of like the jawbone of this thing that's been smashed into one side, and sitting in it almost as though it were a throne is again a very tall, statuesque, like 12 to 15 feet. Definitely, this would probably be Lady Roxana if you could think of it. She is lords over all around her. Her skin is black like the obsidian around her, and even has crystalline structures that seem to run up over her shoulders and form almost a crown. Instead of hair, she has this crown of crystals that are growing out. Again, these long, overly severe elven features of this sort of this female queen overseeing this court of raucous noise.
Cool. She my prey now.
Hunt prey. You see her. Got you. And she'll sort of crane her neck a bit as she sees the five of you kind of totter in, noting your crests. Well now.
Huh?
Has the Lord found more vassals? Her voice actually echoes over the cacophony, but it is very loud. I get it, though. I get it. So Lord Eladrin has found some mortal dogs to come try to do his dirty work for him.
He's very excited to be here, speaking up, trying to be heard over everything.
The fool thinks that this will work. I'll defeat you all, and then I'll show him the foolishness of it. Best he give in finally, and this staid idiocy of his reign will finally be over. He...
That's what you get for always
Sorry,
yelling.
Nick did that. Not. She doesn't need a drink of water. It's fine. That stately dimwit's time is at an end, and I see that all I have to do now is defeat all of you. He's invested quite a bit of power into you.
I challenge you to a game of hide and seek.
What?
That is our chosen battle. We'll play hide and seek. We'll see who can hide from the other better.
Make me a diplomacy check.
I don't see why that wouldn't work, actually.
It's a 23.
A 23. She will laugh out loud at this. Is this the best that Eladred could come up with? A hide and seek game.
Well, have you ever played hide and seek before? Do you even know how difficult it is to play?
I know how hunting and prey works. Thinking that you could change that with a game. No, a children's game won't be.
With a hero point.
Another go for the party. Well, I'm going to give you this here hero point. You want to just give that right back to me?
Oh, yeah. 17 ain't gonna cut it, son.
You rolled a 17 on that. Okay. You know what? Let's re-roll a 7. Let's see what happens.
Wait,
Let's roll 17.
Can I assist?
You know what? Yeah. All right, Bonk.
What is this, diplomacy?
Yep, that's what looks like Mom's going for.
Sure, we'll all attempt to help.
Well, no, I looked at my character sheet. I don't think I'm attempting to
I have
help.
crazy eye.
What?
That's
What?
I got a 20, so that's 20.
That's a critical success.
+2.
+2.
All right, I'll try to assist.
I literally needed a 20 to succeed.
Is that a 1 or a 7? I can't
Bonk
tell.
comes up next to you
Okay.
and goes, "Bah, bah." And like as he like loses focus on this, pants just fall on his face and he just falls over. And like, which helps sell it amazingly well.
I only got a total of 16, so I fail, but not critically.
You fail, but not critically. You don't make it worse.
Amazing.
And now
All
it
right.
is your turn.
All right.
Did it work?
It was so that's a 16.
That's a 16. So it's gonna
18.
be it's gonna be one higher.
24.
24.
I got another hero point.
She has a will
Hero
save.
point for mommy. Just wanted to say
Just
this.
wanted to say this.
Crimson Nexus.
All right, Crimson Nexus. Here's your hero point for mommy.
I've always wanted to be mommy.
There you go.
It's really hard to be a mommy when you're that
I
short.
regret this one shot.
At least no
happy
one
to be
said
She doesn't
something
get her
along, like,
save
bonk me
bonus
daddy
because
or
it's
anything.
not magic. Like, what was the total?
24?
That's exactly.
Oh, baby. Thank you.
All right. I have no idea.
You shall be defeated by hide and seek. No, I won't. Bonk comes over.
It's like, actually, this looks really easy. Very well. Swear on your power. Hide and seek. I will find you and hunt you down. And when I do, you abandon your oaths to that lord.
Sure.
Done deal.
Works for me.
We just agreed to everything.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Very well. Off with you. I'm counting.
Full speed.
Bonk takes off. I'm speed 35. I'm fast as hell. Bonk is going.
All right.
Speed 30. Also very quick.
All right. So you all just scatter.
Yeah.
It's hide and seek.
This is
Why would we hide
amazing.
together?
Bonk knows how to play this game.
All right. So
I'm
you all
casting
might.
Pass Without Trace again.
Okay, cool. That's good. All right, so you all might think that this is just going to be straight stealth score, but no, we're not going to do that. You are scattering, right? You can plan out a good hiding spot where you don't think she's going to look for you. You can try to get yourself with athletics or acrobatics up to an area where you don't think she would think you would be able to get to. You could use, if you can sell me on what type of skill you want to use for this, and you sell it well enough, I'll believe it, and we'll let you roll that for hide and seek.
Hear me out. I'm trying to get back to the road.
The one that's like outside of the
Several
crater,
miles
further into
away.
the woods.
Yes.
'Kay.
Because while she's looking for everyone else, I get back to the road and run really fast back to the palace.
Yeah.
And hide behind the throne.
You'll get word that you've won in a couple days.
That will be my goal: is hustle and run and just keep going.
Okay, so your goal
didn't specify.
is to leave the arena of the game.
We didn't specify an area.
right. You would think that. Okay, all right.
She didn't say anything other than we have to give up our
Bonk is
oath.
gonna grab Harold while he tries to run.
Okay.
Go, wah, 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 wah. And I'm gonna go over Birchwood. And he's still a walking cane, or have you got
Still
your
walking
stick?
cane.
So she has you.
She has me.
Take you, Harold. I want to make a thievery check to hide Birchwood in Harold because he is a gourd.
Fine with that.
I'm a hollow gourd.
Completely fine with that.
Gourd.
Wow.
So as I recall, gourd leshies can do that,
It's literally one.
but
bulk
it's
is
like
the
one
limit.
bulk, right?
Yes.
And y'all are small creatures, right?
Yes.
So I think that's 3 bulk.
He's made
Hence
of
the
twigs.
thievery check.
He is made of twigs.
Cram him in there very hard.
Hence the thievery.
So I'm gonna need Harold to make a fortitude save.
Well, I was trying to get him in there, and he clearly doesn't really fit.
Anyone? Assistance, please. Does anyone know what he's saying?
Cast grease.
Understood.
I'm gonna cast guidance on you. I'm gonna cast guidance on you to give you a +1 for
great
your fortitude
call.
success.
All right.
Because Doc is just staring at this like, what are you? Oh no, he's going to swamp.
20 Mississippi, 21 Mississippi,
All right. I rolled a 27.
And I cast grease to make myself incredibly slippery.
a 27 fortitude save. Okay. All right.
Put the greasy sorcerer inside you.
Ew.
Feed me the greasy sorcerer, please.
All right. So you're able to get walking stick, folded up birch inside Harold's mouth with only this much sticking out of his mouth, and you can't put your head down. So you're like,
That's perfectly fine.
so you're like this now.
I
And
am
there's a
now
stick coming from-
going to imagine a big hat.
While he does that, I'm gonna pick him up and take off running because I have hefty holler and I'm very fast.
All right.
I'm carrying almost nothing.
I'm carrying literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Almost
So
literally
it's bulk
nothing.
6 that you're trying to carry. I'm
Oh,
assuming you can manage that
Way
just
under,
fine.
yeah, no
All right.
problem. I have 14 strength and hefty holler.
I love how like being small, you can still carry just as much as like someone who's 4 times your
Absolutely.
size.
Ants. I'm just gonna follow them to try and like oh no.
All right.
It's a hat.
And I'll take my pants off and put them on your head.
Perfect. That's my big hat. There you go.
All right, and you take off running.
Before I get out of her sight, I'm casting personal ring cloud on her.
Dang, good wreck.
So I know you've never thought that you'd ever have to get the spell, but I am going to need you to actually like tell me what the text is because I think she gets some kind of save.
She doesn't get any save. She literally gets like a small amount of fire resistance, and she's wet now. That's like
She's just wet, but it might actually like impede her from like making like perception checks, or it might make everything muddy, which might make it harder for her to follow.
it is a very
footprints.
mechanics light spell.
So all right, so you cast this spell at her, and a little rain cloud pops up over her head.
I've been waiting.
and she's
This
gonna-
is my moment.
And she's going to kind of look and see you. And she's going to kind of, her eyes will blaze and she'll say, and this wave will kind of roll over you. And I need you to make a will save.
We're gone.
I mean, the party started leaving and you're like, I'll cast spells at her.
We're out of here.
We'll see. Gonna be a
I
20.
can't believe the pants
20?
were plot relevant.
Okay. So
They're now a big hat.
your heart starts to beat faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And you start feeling these emotions rise in you, this
In
cacophony
that case, it's a 22.
of, huh?
If it's an emotion effect.
This is 100% an emotion effect.
22.
Do you have something that makes you boast against emotion effects? What you got? What you got? What you got?
You a forlorn elf.
Are you a forlorn elf, really?
No, but
No, you're an ancient elf.
No, but I'm pretty sure I had something. Give me a minute.
I don't know what
While
else.
this is going on, I'm gonna try to do survival so that I can try to like crush as much of this stuff that's around us, the rock and even maybe some of the bone, and just throw clouds of it onto all of us to try and make us look naturally a part of the.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So we've got, all right, so we've got thievery, we've got cheating, and we've got,
No, that one's cheating.
Oh, so it's thievery. Not. I was gonna try to do it to make us look like the.
your survival,
oh, survival. Oh, you're thievery.
he's
Okay.
thievery, right? And then we've got
Grease.
try to cheat, but I need like a roll out of you guys.
Hiding?
Stealth. Stealth works. That's the classic, man, right there.
I thought I had it, but it was a different version of the character.
Cool. So
I'm
a
just
hero
gonna
point
try to
doesn't help with that.
It does if I weren't.
Oh, it is a will save.
check.
That's true. Mommy's hero point.
Mommy's hero point.
It's mommy's best day.
Children
I'm
have left
thinking
the nest.
I'm gonna go with.
Oh, thank God.
Fortitude save to just keep running.
I'm carrying you.
I'll let you.
Bonk's carrying you.
I'm gonna set.
That's
up,
going to be a 29.
I'm gonna set a distraction satchel charge.
Okay. You managed to shake it off.
I'm leaving.
Okay. She sees you go, but she's still counting.
I'm gonna set a distraction satchel charge up.
Doesn't that take like 10 minutes?
Takes 1 minute, and I can put it anywhere, which includes myself.
And I get a big distance out here because
I thought you had to put it on an object.
I have objects inside of me. They are seeds.
So you're going to set up.
I'm gonna put a satchel charge on me.
he's gonna blow himself up.
You're going to put a satchel.
Yelp.
You're going to put a satchel charge together on, I guess, another one of your alchemical bombs.
Yeah, anything I'm holding.
Once I get them out, once we get a good distance, because I'm faster and he has this hat and he's doing this thing, I put Harold down and I pull Birchwood out of Harold. And then I take off by myself to go find a hiding place.
Sorry, so we have distance. So I'm going to make a satchel charge, and I'm going to put it on a rock,
Okay.
and I'm going to eat the rock.
All right.
That takes 1 minute.
Okay.
You're gonna blow yourself up.
All right. So you now are
take it with
very volatile.
Yes.
All right. Granted, I'm still waiting on like some kind of way you're trying to hide and win hide
I'm
and
going to
seek.
go hide.
Okay.
Like normal hiding.
Yup.
But I'm going to set the satchel charge up near me as a distraction. I made it to bring with me so I can put it down somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're going to go try to find a hiding spot, and you're going to use this basically, you're going to mine an area to go ahead and create a distraction so that she doesn't come look for you. She'll be distracted
so
by
that
the thing.
if she happens to be about to see me, I can make a thing happen over there and distract her for just another bit longer. Maybe get her to not look maybe necessarily where I am.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm going to use stealth with an added, I have a reaction of, oh crap.
All right.
Cecilia,
I want to use
Sure.
my satchel charge.
Sure. I'll.
It costs 4 potions, and I get to roll 4d10.
All right. Sure. We'll figure something out. What's Birchwood doing?
Birchwood is going to, so the mountain face that we kind of climbed down. Are there any roots sticking out of the mountain face by chance?
If you look hard enough, you might be able to find
Yeah.
one.
So what I would like is, hopefully it is pretty sparse and there's not too many of them, but I would like to wedge myself into the mountain and have just a piece of me hanging out as if I were a root sticking out of the mountain.
I'll let you use nature for that or stealth, whichever you
Perception?
want. Huh?
Deception?
Oh yeah, deception's a good one.
Perfect. I think I will use deception.
Okay. Perfect. So we've got deception, we've got stealth with a whole bunch of extra stuff layered on it. We have our
Thievery.
Thievery.
Now that I run off, I try to find just some stuff. You said there's like crags and nooks around this, and there's like all the bones of this. I'm going to go with the toddler under the couch cushion strategy, where you get under the couch cushions, and then I'm going to use my thievery to attempt to rearrange the couch cushions so that they don't look like somebody is underneath them, except instead of a couch cushion, it's just some random rocks and bones and crap, and instead of a toddler, it's basically a toddler. Piece of coconut.
Okay. All right, so we got thievery, and then we've got our
Survival.
you had a normal one.
Survival to try and just
Something that
cover
made
myself in.
sense.
Survival, all right, very good.
Also survival to cover my tracks.
Also survival to cover your tracks. All right.
These nerds are just hiding. They don't have a 15-part escape plan for hide and seek ready to go at any time. Come
Are
on.
you telling me that you don't bring bombs to your hide and seek game?
You don't shove one of your friends inside of another one of your friends so you can get more distance.
Classic hide and seek.
All right.
Are the stairs still there?
No. All right. So go ahead and each of you roll your stuff and just go ahead and rattle them off to me.
I'm gonna give myself guidance. Why not?
Yeah, might as well.
12.
Fantastic.
Boom.
27.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Keep thinking this 10 is higher because there's like a dot in the middle of it.
21.
21. Okay.
For a second there, I thought I rolled a natural 1 because I could only see the 1 from the reflection.
There we go.
Could I aid these two with the distance I give them? With our grand escape? Nick is reconsidering every choice he's ever made that led him to this table.
No. What's
I've already
Jen
got
get?
plenty enough aid from the bombs.
18. 23.
Okay.
And if it's a success, it's a critical success.
Just
You're hiding. It's a DC.
No, it's survival.
I don't think it's
promise you,
all
you don't have carte
survivors.
blanche survival. As critical
Yeah, it
success.
doesn't
That
sound right. It doesn't sound right. No, I'm just.
If I'm covering my tracks, that's specifically what it's for.
what?
Yeah, but just finding you.
read the
tracks
thing
aren't
that
required.
gives you that.
Although I guess I'm not in the forest right now.
You are definitely not in the forest
Okay,
right
well,
now.
it doesn't matter anyway then.
All right. Alrighty. She's gonna go looking with that. Whew. All right. So, So you will all scatter, right? And
Weird ways, but yes.
Roxana will, you'll kind of be maybe occasionally peeking to see what's
Absolutely
going on.
not.
Okay, someone's going to be, because I have to narrate this for somebody's
peeking.
benefit.
I'm peeking.
All right, cool, thank you. Bonk is peeking. Bonk is like peeking out right there, and you see standing on top of the skeleton is Roxana, just staring off into the crater and scanning her head around. And Bonk isn't 100% certain, but he almost like stops after scanning and then looks and then stops and then looks and then stops and then looks and then stops. And then just kind of slides down the edge and starts running through the wood, through the crater surface, the obsidian sands, and she is fast. She is very
How
fast.
fast?
It's hard to tell, but she could be faster than you.
If I see this, it looks like she's coming for me. Bonk is bolting.
She is not coming for you immediately.
Okay.
If you look, you kind of see her cross to the edge of the crater, and you look, and you can now, just looking where she's going, you can make out what is unmistakably Birchwood, like this, who has just buried his head into the side of the wall, and still has the entire rest of him there, kind of wiggling a little bit, but then apparently like pretty happy with where he is, and.
Now, I'll have you know, I was the cane the entire time. She may not even know I'm a party member.
So when he pulled you off to go your separate ways, you were just like hopping like a cane, like boink, 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 boink.
Yep, makes sense.
Terrific.
And you were a cane, but you had like a little symbol on you, so it's kind of a giveaway.
This is very true.
So you are just kind of there, and you feel something grab you around your midsection and just pull you out of the wall.
Hello, small child.
I love it.
Tag. And as she pulls you, your medallion cracks and falls off of you.
Nice.
And she kind of inhales on like her massive, so she kind of takes this big breath and almost seems to grow in stature, and just drops you into the sand, where you kind of like plop into the sand.
That's where I stay.
And then she'll kind of turn around, and she will again sprint off in a direction. And Bonk, she's coming for you.
Bonk sees this and just starts sprinting away.
And we're in a chase. We've got ourselves opposed athletics, I suppose.
Fair
we'll
enough.
run with that.
We'll go with the short form chase mechanic. Are we both rolling, or
Is that how that works?
not really? One of us rolls for the other's DC, but we can both
Go
roll
for it. Roll. It's more fun when players roll dice. You have math rocks.
Ooh, 23.
That's not terrible, but
It's not bad. You draw it out really long. DC was 24. And she is regrettably faster than you. And one thing that you're noticing is as you're running as fast as you can, your feet will just hit a patch of sand and slide and slip, and she'll gain on you. And then you'll keep running, and then it'll just slide and slip. And you get to one point where you're running, and then for some reason, the ground in front of you turns into like quicksand. Your feet slide into it, you sink like up to your neck, and she just kind of walks over, and when she steps on it, the ground is firm. Bonk, it might occur to him that as the lady of this area, she can probably shape the entire crater to her will. And she just goes and grabs you by the head, like palms your entire head, and just kind of plucks you out of the ground, tag, and your medallion will crack and fall off of you. And she'll
Can
just
any of us see any of
drop
this?
you. Is anyone else trying to keep watch?
Nope.
Well, I have essentially buried myself in the wall in a small hole.
That sounds like, I don't know, would you be able to keep watch from there?
Probably not, because I literally covered my tracks and then dove into the wall of the crater with my mushroom, who's trying to help me keep the air purified so I can breathe in the hole.
That's right, you have the
I'm
familiar
hiding
ability.
there.
Ostriched yourself.
You ostriched yourself. You ostriched yourself way better than Birchwood did. You basically pulled the mushroom behind you. All right, and then so Bonk is caught.
Because that's just a
Unfortunately,
really funny way of doing it.
and so the next thing is she's actually she takes off running again and is moving around. And then we're gonna come to Doc, and she is coming right for your hiding spot. You aren't watching, so the first thing that you feel is the ground around you kind of rumble and shake and literally expel you from your hiding spot. And she is like right in front of you.
I want to try and cast Sanctuary.
Beat her in initiative, you can do it.
Genius. Do it. Get the nat 20. Give it to me. Son.
Tagging has the.
that a natural one?
That's a 3.
It's a 3, no. So 12 total.
You're like, sent you, and she just like, boom, face palms you.
Almost had been.
Medallion cracks and falls off of you. As this happens, you feel that serenity just fall off of you, and the cacophony of the area just starts to overwhelm your senses. But she's already just dropped you down, and she's spinning, and she's running off again. You will actually. I mean, you're trying to play hide and seek in an area where she can shape the entire arena. It's really hard. You're familiar.
Humongous.
Humongous the fungus.
Humongous.
Not humongous. Humongous. Get it right. We'll kind of like, Myra, she's coming. She's getting closer.
She's
coming right at us.
Start digging up like a gopher.
In the, do you have a dig speed?
No, but I have a shape speed. I'm going to start trying to shape a pathway that gets me through the wall and kind of dig my way up.
Crafting or will save?
We'll see.
Yeah, roll that one in the dice tray.
Oh, yeah. This is important.
8.
You will try to shape this path, and you start to make some progress, and then you feel that the dirt turns to solid glass in front of you.
With a 19, is that with a 19?
And just you don't beat her.
I didn't think so.
And 100%, it just starts pressing against you and unceremoniously forces you out. And you are,
The
boom,
melon just pooped her out.
fly out of the ground and just land at her feet. And she is just standing over you. You got any other tricks?
Protector tree? Save me.
Beat her in initiative. I'll let you do it. You might win this one. She didn't roll so great.
Back in the camp.
Back.
That's an 18, baby. That's going to be a 29.
Protector tree! Bleep! A little tree pops up in front, and she kind of reaches to get you, and the tree kind of like flops in the way.
I'm going to take off.
From the hole in the wall?
Well, the tree is over. It gave her cover, so she can just get to her feet and run. Because he tried to grab her, and the tree just goes bloop and popped in the way. And you just start running.
And I'm going to tell Humongous to try to get in her way.
Okay. Humongous looks up at this ginormous stone woman
Distract her.
who just clears him with a single jump as she runs after you. You roll athletics to try to outpace her, Miss Druid.
Instead of athletics, can I try to get up the walls and maneuver myself with acrobatics instead? Like try to like take it into like a different, like I don't want to run. Like I actually want to try.
Parkour.
I want to parkour.
Actually, yeah, that would be good.
You want to parkour, but not in an athletic kind of way.
I want to
acrobatics.
That's
Parkour
acrobatics.
unathletically.
I see.
Parkour!
I'll let you use acrobatics if you're trying to use the terrain against
That's
her.
exactly what I am.
Okay, you're gonna try to go to unstable parts of the terrain and use that. Sure, I'll let you use that. I'll let you use
Tray
acrobatics.
of dice.
Tray of dice.
Oh yeah, baby.
2.
Whenever I roll in here, this tray is cursed.
So you try to clamber onto this thing and run around, and the ground just gives from underneath you as she shapes it beneath your feet, and you just fall into the sand, and she catches you almost immediately and just grabs you by your lapels.
Well, that was fun.
And says, "Yes, it was." And the medallion cracks and falls off. And it might be your imagination, but she seems actually a little bigger than when you first saw her.
So are you dating anyone?
Business before pleasure, my dear, and drops you into the sand. And then she turns and scans around. And she will start picking a direction, and then she'll just run off. And
Try to trip her as she leaves.
would you like,
Try to trip her as she leaves.
with the athletics? Go ahead.
I'm gonna do it anyway. Watch
Gonna
me.
break your ankles.
It just breaks your leg.
14.
Okay, you try to grab at her. As you do, as you try to grab at her to hinder her, you will feel a weight crush down onto you, as though something happened when you tried to do this. You tried to break the rules of the game.
Oh, I didn't know that was breaking a rule.
Yeah, interesting enough, you can't tackle people in hide and seek, and you actually feel a crushing weight hit you as you start to sink into the sand.
All right, I get it.
She is already gone, but you are basically buried up to your neck in the sand of the ground, and you are stuck there. Then go ahead and give me a perception check.
That'll be a 19.
19. You hear a getting louder and louder and louder and louder. You're fairly certain that sounds like something pretty big and probably heavy and made of stone is running towards you.
But you do have a hero point now.
But there is a hero point for Bomberman.
The Nexus again.
We'll pass that on down.
Thank you. I can't roll better on my stealth. I got a 19.
Well, you could, but
What? That is not the derp I know.
That's not the. What happened to you?
What? You real? Poke him.
You tell me this man wouldn't re-roll a
him.
19.
Poke that.
alive.
No. he's
well, you
not.
can't re-roll your initial stealth. But what you could do is you could maybe try something. I mean, if you had some kind of distraction, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna trigger that. I'm deciding what I can do with this.
Fair enough.
Because I'm gonna use it, obviously.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, I believe she's getting close. So
Sounds like she's getting
the
closer.
bomb's going off.
Bomb's going off. So you hear, and then, as this
For what it matters, it is a firebomb, a tanglefoot bag, a firebomb, and a acid flask. And that all explodes.
Did you say this place is completely full of creatures screaming and in revelry?
did you? I thought you all left the skeleton area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we went.
Yeah, we went out into
it.
like the outskirts of it.
Yeah. So okay. So a bunch of explosions happen, kicking dust into the air. You'll hear maybe the stutter step kind of stop for a bit. You have created a window of opportunity for yourself, sir. What would you like to do with it?
Please let it be something monumentally stupid.
Oh, of course, dirt.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna craft a better hiding place.
Gonna craft a better hiding.
Make an outhouse and climb in it.
Yep.
If it smells bad enough, maybe she won't come and get me.
I'm gonna craft a better hiding place.
Okay. You're gonna try to shape yourself a better hiding place. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. Go for it.
She's not looking. 13 becomes a 21 to craft a thing.
13 becomes 21 to craft a thing. Okay, is that your final answer?
No, I don't. I wouldn't make that my final answer.
Re-roll it.
I'd re-roll that.
Do it. You do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm going to use it for nothing else.
Nice.
We're about to lose hide and seek. This is important.
To a 12. So 20.
20. Okay. All right. You shape yourself the cover of the explosion seems to have caused some difficulty. You shape it into you shape yourself a 20 hiding spot to kind of bury yourself in. Put a little door in the way maybe. I
just take the rock and pretend there's a bigger rock over it, like the hollow rocks over water pumps.
Nice.
It's a bunch of Russian dolls. It's just all it is.
Yeah.
It's Matryoshka rocks.
Yep, I love it. So you go ahead and build your layered rock hideout, and you hear kind of this steps again, kind of approach, and then you'll hear the outer layer of rock shatter and split, and then you'll hear the next one shatter and split, and then you'll hear the next one shatter and split, and then finally the gloom of the sky just kind of shines down as she pries it open, and she's kind of looking down at you with this sort of maniacal grin on her face, and she's like, "Gotcha." She hasn't actually tagged you yet, but you want to try anything else?
I have one last idea.
Don't.
I seduce her. No.
Seed in her mouth.
Seed.
Oh, you're gonna throw a seed at her?
Yep, I have quick draw
Okay.
and quick bomb and the Leshy gourd thing. That I have 3 forms of quick that I took because I thought it was funny.
Okay. Roll me one of your quick things to see what happens.
Pocket sand.
Yeah.
Pocket
What
sand.
kind of bomb's it going to be, I suppose?
Well, first roll to hit first.
Well, I still got to know what kind of bomb it is.
You won't know that
bomb's
until it
irrelevant.
explodes, right?
That's true. So that was an 18 that rolled over to a 5 because the tray is slightly tilted. But the bomb still goes off.
It does. Hey, look at this.
Oh, hero point for
you
seed.
have a hero point
Hero
for seed.
point for seed.
Do it.
8
Oh.
becomes a 15. It is a tanglefoot bag, so it clogs up the hole with roots.
So
That one doesn't have anything on a failure, I don't think, for
It doesn't.
them.
No, but
like,
it hits and just it's roots.
So you throw this seed out, and as you go to throw this seed, once again, this well, not really once again for you, but this crushing weight kind of crushes down on you. And the tanglefoot seed you try to throw kind of spins off wide, kind of vanishing off and popping out into a bunch of roots, but nowhere important. As you attempt to cheat hide and seek by throwing grenades at the person coming for you.
Sounds so much worse than you intended.
To be fair, there's a 2 in 10 chance it does nothing.
And as this weight hits you, your medallion actually shatters of its own accord as the Fey magic leaves you as you break your sworn word. And you'll see her just kind of grin at you and say, "Not playing by mortal rules here. It's done." And she will kind of tower over, and she is noticeably bigger. It seems that the power that Lord Eodred had invested in these medallions has actually all flown out, and she has absorbed all of it. And she stands over all of you and says, "It is done! Come, my horde! We take the Court of Eternal Fountains!" And you hear kind of a pause in the raucous screaming, and then in a joined wail, a triumphant cry as out of literally every nook and cranny of this skeleton, a horde of various Fae crawl out in bones, through the bones, coming in a wave as they move across the ground. As it approaches Roxana, she cries out in triumph and starts leading them in a giant wave towards the wall of the crater.
Well, I guess someone won.
the battle goes very quickly. Swarming up the side of the crater, almost entirely unfazed by it, they slash into the forest. And by the time you make it out, if you're curious to see what happens, the court of Eternal Fountains has been cast down into ruin. And Lord Eladren himself is actually tied down with obsidian shackles and becomes the new throne for the new ruler of the Freehold.
And we are alive.
The fool is quite happy to finally have a lady, but unfortunately, no one has really promised to bring you guys back to the material plane, so you're kind of left to your own devices to figure out how that's gonna work. But that would be a story, perhaps, for another day.
We gotta keep going with these characters.
Leshy daycare. Maybe there's a reason the druids. There's a reason the druids don't go and have them do things normally.
It went dramatically better than expected because no one died.
This is true.
That's well, when you decide to put hide and seek on the line, it's kind of hard to come up with a dying kind of thing.
Pretty low
That
stakes.
is
just-
I see,
Wait,
but you
Leshy
don't
daycare.
You know what? Mom did her job. Mom did
The kids.
Now you have to get us home. Like that's we're not
I'm
alive
gonna
yet.
get you
We're not alive
home.
yet.
That is
Just
probably a
imagine
pretty
how-
important part of the
You
job.
can just build a house everywhere, anywhere you want. You're just like,
All I'm saying is I turned it into hide and seek so no one got hurt.
I mean,
I like
no one got hurt at all,
for
except
Bonk.
I got very hurt. I'll have you know.
Multiple times.
We can fix
verification.
that.
man, I had stats for all these people, and I did not use the ones I thought I was going to use.
Stupid noob.
What? Play?
That was the best stealth.
Thought we were
could've
gonna
rolled.
fight your boss.
How close was it to being actually like hidden?
To spot your initial spaces, she rolled stupid well.
Okay.
But you had a chance to try to break away, and maybe you could have done it. But the minute you start shaping in her own domain, where she can literally control everything with her own shaping, you can't outshape her. That was
You can't outshape the shape.
Yeah.
you can't
do that.
outshape
I had
the
to do
person
something
who
stupid.
owns the area.
It's still, that was still pretty funny.
It was you picked a really bad way to try to stop her.
Look, man, I just needed to do something that the kids would be okay with.
You know what? The kids had fun, and that's what's important.
The kids are all right.
All right. Well, no combat, but you know what? Everyone seemed to have a great time, except for Lord Eldred. He's not having a
He's
good time.
probably fine.
He's probably fine though.
Chair now.
Well, everyone, that's what happens
People
when you.
pay for that.
Oh no!
No curse words, but we went there. I like it. I like it.
Oh no!
Hey, implication is fine. The PG-13s don't understand it.
Got it.
So you can put them in there. You ever watched a Disney movie before? You can get them in there.
It's pretty true.
It's for the parents too. You see.
Wonderful.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Thanks.
I do want session 2, Leshy Boo.
Thanks for coming and joining us, everybody. This is absolutely
What a clown fiesta.
The disaster that I expected given the pitch. Oh man, that's good to be a player.
That was so much
Good to
better
get
than I
you
thought.
down here. Thank you for joining
My
us,
pleasure, man.
David.
Come back.
One of the Ocalian Knights. I think the
Yeah.
first time I've had him with us on the Paizo channel for this one shot. It's absolute riot.
Hopefully more often. This is super fun.
Oh,
So
I'm glad
invite me
you
back
liked it.
anytime, guys.
Glad you enjoy it. We didn't get a ton of Pathfinder mechanics in there, I guess, but such is life sometimes.
Yep.
I had to invent half of them. Y'all were so wacky.
I think.
Great game.
Thank
Great
you.
game, Master.
Thank you.
Absolutely great
I'm glad
game.
you enjoyed it. I hope you
you.
all enjoyed it at home too, despite everything.
Hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekends, everybody. Bye. Good day.